I
So
doubt it.
essentially, they are coming into their space, not so much their country, but their demographic space within their country. I think
I
that might well be where the thing is. Yeah.
I doubt it very much, one man. I mean, we all know us West African people, we're very hardworking. Anywhere we go, you know, we don't rely on benefits and stuff like that. I mean, come to the UK, for example. How many black people that you know that will go come to this country to stay on benefit? Almost unheard of, unless those that are
Yeah,
born here.
but Al, does that
Can,
not does
Can
that? Oh,
I?
sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, can I make a quick comment here?
Yeah, go.
Right now, my building is filled with Nigerians and South Africans. And the average Kenyan, whenever they see a Nigerian doing well, a South African doing well, do you know what they say? How can I benefit your business? Please, can you employ me? I've never seen xenophobic attacks against foreigners. In Kenya, we have how many Somalis? 2 million Somalis here as immigrants. We don't see people attacking them. We let them do their business. If people are more successful, we learn from them. This spirit in South Africa, where is it coming from?
it comes from the white man.
The white man is pushing them. The white man is pushing them because the white man already pushed them out of their country, yeah, and pushed them out of their resources. So now they have nowhere to actually turn their anger to. It is self-hate. It's the same thing I keep saying and over and over and over and over. Just like I keep saying, until you stop giving away your raw material, you're always going to be poor. It's the same thing here, Kaizo. They are weak. They're cowards. They never fought.
Is that not an easy thing to say, though, Al? Is that not an easy to say that it's the white
one
man
man
pulling their
it's
strings?
not
Have you looked at it from this so they see because South Africa is a multiracial sort of a space. They have an Indian Asian sort of a population. They have a significant white population, and then they have a black population as well. So now, amongst that black population, then you have these migrants now, also black, coming in, but then those migrant blacks are being more successful than the indigenous blacks. So within their demography, within their racial mix in their space, they are now finding that other people that look like them are coming in to superimpose in terms of economics and progression within that society. So
yeah. But one man.
hold on,
Hold on.
let me land it. It's
Yes, of
essentially they are coming in to steal their spot within their own country, is really where I was going.
Hold on. How can you steal? That is a problem. When we talk about the resources, it's a crumbs that the Indians, basically the Asians and the white man, leaves the black people. It's not all the resources their own. It's a crumbs, and they are literally fighting around the crumbs. That's why I say, why not focus on like you're literally making an entire political party fighting around crumbs. When other people eating good off of your back, really good, insanely good, but you don't target them. That's why I say, hey, you can be xenophobic, have nothing against it, but be intelligent with it. Don't be stupid and low IQ.
Wow, yeah, that's good. Well said. I mean, one man. You remember what Mike, my brother Mike, said the last time? Anywhere immigrant go, if you look at the demography, they tend to do well than the people that actually are the indigenous working class. That's because they come in there to thrive, to make their life better and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, we know that, like in the UK, we have it's very successful Indians in the UK, successful immigrants that came here and made more money. And we've seen how many people, you know, of the indigenous that rely on benefit, they're still in the council house.
I think it dropped. Come back, Carl. Let's take the conversation to FM. See if it's there. FM, come in. What are you making of this South African narrative?
Yeah. Hello. Afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you here.
Yeah. Woman. I just saw you. I was surprised that you're talking about South Africa because I told you I live in Johannesburg. I'm from South Africa. So everything, I'm in Nigerian, but I stay in South Africa. Everything you're saying about foreigners, one man, I'm here, I stay here. I'm telling you, most of the problem we Nigerians go through here is we Nigerians that are causing it. I'm telling you. Because me, I came in as a soccer player. I came with my brother. My brother was playing for Sundowns. I was with Chiefs. But I'm telling you, but later we are like soccer agents. We bring players to this country now. But if you go to the street of Joburg, the way Nigerians do business here is all man. You will even be ashamed as a Nigerian. I'm telling you.
Give us
I'm
an
not in support
example.
of.
Give us an example of what you mean.
Woman, I'm telling you, Nigerians, they sell drugs like they are selling Tom Tom. You know what they sell? Sweet. This Dudula thing you're talking about, I've encountered them while I was driving. I just ran into my car to come and talk to you. This Dudula thing, like half of, let me say, when it comes to the Dudula thing, they are divided about some South African support is some against it. I'm telling you, I'm calling you from Joburg. I'm in CBD. Because my office is in the CBD. Because everywhere is showing my office is just around there. I just came there and said, well, man, this Dudula thing is serious, yeah. And Nigerians do things here. You even be you won't want to say you are in Nigeria. What that guy, I don't know who was the first speaker. He's saying what that white man did what? No, these Nigerians here.
Hold on, can I ask the question? Can I ask the question?
Yeah, I can.
How many of the drug dealers in Johannesburg are Nigerians?
How many what?
How many of the drug dealers in Johannesburg are Nigerians?
How many? I don't know how to answer that question.
Just roughly.
How many? I don't know.
Roughly.
Okay, let me say in Joburg, I will give you. I'm not saying too much. Let me say 60%. I'm telling you in Joburg, right? I'm telling you.
60% of the drug dealers, by your estimation, 60% of the drug dealers
Nigerians, in Joburg, yeah, they are Nigerians. I'm telling you, it's an eyesore, yeah. I'm telling 60%. You, like, woman, I'm not telling you about what I don't know.
See, this guy, hold on. I think
it's in South Africa, by the way.
Even if it's in South Africa, doesn't mean, there are some self-hating Nigerians that just won't hate everything when Nigerians commit crime, so they just exaggerate everything. 60% in the foreign land, that is very, very highly unlikely.
No, I'm not talking about 60. I'm saying 60% of Nigerians that stays in Joburg.
I thought you said 60% of Nigerians, 60% of drug traders are Nigerians.
He said, how many Nigerians do I know? He never said how many foreigners. He said the question
I thought you said
you are Nigerian. Hold on. You are Nigerians. So it's clear that most of the people you know would be Nigerians. I say, how many drug dealers in your area, not the numbers, are Nigerians? There must be some official numbers.
No. What is actually saying, Snake Man, is that of the Nigerians that he knows, 60% of them are drug dealers.
Okay, that makes sense.
I hardly believe that.
No, it's possible. It's cycle.
Hold on now, to Niger. You can.
I'm telling you where I stay.
Hold on now, Al. Hold on now. You can extrapolate from that anecdote and project. So if he's telling us that 60% of amongst the Nigerians that he's aware of are drug dealers, then from that anecdote you can project to the wider Nigerian community in Johannesburg.
Not necessarily, because it's a cycle. Some people hang around certain circles where you have higher number of certain people.
I just wanted to say Habibi is in South Africa too, FM.
Yeah.
Hey, to Niger, when I said the same things your fellow Nigerian now is telling me, you said I'm just hating on you guys. He's telling you the same thing now. Are you going to tell him he's hating on himself?
No, what he's saying is very specific.
What
he's saying is very specific. He says the people around his cycle that he knows, that 60% of them are Nigerians that he knows. So it doesn't necessarily mean that 60% of drug dealers in Johannesburg are Nigerian.
So I think
hold on. Are you saying this guy started his nonsense again? He started his nonsense again. I'm asking you now, somebody in South Africa, you see what he's doing?
You see that?
You see what he's doing?
You've never.
You see what he's doing? He started his nonsense again.
Wait, to Niger, can you let me speak, man?
Question. I'm asking you as somebody that is in South Africa.
Let me speak.
Do you think 60% of Nigerians are the ones selling drugs in South Africa? He doesn't like to answer straight questions. He just likes to talk. He doesn't like to answer straight questions. I want to gather information, but he doesn't want me to gather information. He just wants to start sending accusations out.
Bro, to Niger, he didn't say 60% of Nigerians. He said 60% of drug dealers are probably Nigerian. There's a difference.
In what area, what country, what district, what town, what city? You know, you got to specify this. You can't just use blanket statements.
It said in Johannesburg.
In Johannesburg, okay.
In the Gauteng region, basically not even Johannesburg, in the whole Gauteng region. Johannesburg, Pretoria, and all the other surrounding cities.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry, but
Bro, you guys have never said. You see, this is the problem. You don't want to believe it because you don't want. You don't believe it because you don't want to believe it.
Hold on.
You are just a minus on this platform.
Hold on. One voice at a time. But let me just add this. Off the back of what FM just said, are we now saying that what this South African lady is saying, that there's some justifications to it? That what led to the death of her son, essentially foreigners, probably Nigerian drug dealers, and as she said, he hates foreigners. So is there some justification?
There's no justification for it. That is
one man.
I don't subscribe to that. It's our government that should be accountable instead of blaming it on foreigners.
Wait, Keizo, can you let me speak, bro? These man, they can't even let me finish a sentence.
Hold on.
Let me finish a sentence, then. Let me finish a sentence. Bro, Tunaja, you've been filibustering, man. Let a man.
When I say everyone, that includes you. When I say everyone, implicit in the word everyone. So Nilotic, you go, and then you to Niger, you counter back, and then let's have some fluidity.
We also have another South African, Ayobon Pili.
Over the course of these discussions in Nigerians and South Africa, we've had me, other South Africans, and we've had a Nigerian person living in South Africa even now coming here and corroborating the same story. But you, man, who've never set foot in South Africa, are telling us you don't believe it. It's not because you don't believe it because you don't want to believe it. Because everyone is telling you the same story. How can we be? Are we collaborating with one another to lie to you? No. So these are just facts, bro. You can deny it all you want. You can accept it. But these are the facts on the ground. And I'm sorry it doesn't go with your narrative of being the victims when you guys are also the perpetrators. You're the victims and perpetrators.
Hold on, Nilot. Sister, till now are stories. When you have facts, can you send me the government report to justify the facts?
You guys don't like to follow other rules at all. They just said I should speak next. I immediately just jump in again.
Don't make it personal tonight.
It's not personal. You guys should follow rules because the next time I try to speak now, they will say I should wait too. Because you both don't like to follow rules.
It's true. You need to let people speak. I think that's one thing that needs to be addressed on here.
And first of all, we didn't even confirm whether that speaker was a Nigerian. We didn't confirm fully whether he was a Nigerian. We should come back and we confirm him as a Nigerian. And secondly,
he is a Nigerian. You could hear it in his accent. He's a Yoruba guy. Just you know a Yoruba voice.
I never bothered to confirm. That's why I wanted to hear him talk again. But now he's left. Who is that?
That's a South African.
Okay, so the issue now is that I wanted to gather information. I wanted to gather information from Nilot to find out whether.
Okay, so can I send you a video on Telegram?
No point.
They say they wanted evidence, so I want to send you a video of the what do you call this, Nigerian ambassador to South Africa, talking about the issues of drugs in South Africa. Can I send you that video on TikTok?
Yes. Right. I mean, whether Nigeria sell drugs.
Yes.
South Africa has always been a problem. They always had drug and alcohol problem in South Africa.
Yes, and can you also find maybe the full video?
Nigerians start going there. You always had problem with drugs and alcohol in your country way before Nigeria start going in there. So why all of a sudden you decide to actually blame the Nigerians?
That's not true because Nigeria has 14 million in drugs.
That's not true. You stop lying, bro. You don't come here and start lying because it's not true. There's no evidence of that. You just want to blame Nigerian because you're lazy, you're weak, and also you can't point finger on the white bastards because they will fucking have you. So then you rather go for the black people. You can't point finger on the Indian because they bribe you. Do you understand? We know what's going on in that fucking place. You need to stop. You can't target West African people coming to South Africa that helped you out when the white man was slaying you. How can you do that, bro? How can you not be embarrassed as black Africans?
Sorry, Al. Sorry, Al. we've just had a Nigerian come on here to tell us because he's a Nigerian, and really that gives him some sort of cachet to make that statement. We've just had a Nigerian come on to tell us that yes, that the drug problems. Yeah? Are you saying we should ignore that?
Well, yes, I think they should.
Said it's embarrassed.
No. We should not ignore that. We should not ignore that.
No. If it's not based on fact, yes, you should ignore it. And I don't think that's actually based on fact.
It's based on lived experience. It's based on lived experience.
Well,
it's
just because you live in just because you live in Johannesburg around Nigerians, then 60% happen to be drug dealers. And Johannesburg is not the only city in Africa. Johannesburg is not the only town in South Africa, right? It's not the only place that have black communities or a Nigerian community in the country. So why?
No, it's not. It's not that. But once again, we know that South Africa is a problem. Like here, I have an article that says that 80% of the South African youth that die on illegal things is dying on alcohol. So basically, 80, no. But basically, 80% of the youth when they die of alcohol.
Alcohol. So is it Nigerian bringing alcohol in South Africa?
Yeah, but we're not talking about alcohol. We're talking about drugs.
Yeah, but the drugs they haven't.
Let me ask you a question.
Sorry,
so according to this logic, let's get this logic right. If a country has other problems outside of whatever Nigerians are doing in that country as well, then they can't approach you until they fix all of the other problems.
No, that is not the logic. That is not the logic, Nilot. What I'm doing right, so I can even post an article in.
Bro, how is this even a debate, bro? If you say
it's not a
there were
debate.
like 4 or 5, wait, hold up, bro. Can I finish?
No, let me
You're not
finish.
even letting me finish a sentence. Let me finish my sentence. Oh my God.
I was not done. What I wanted to say is it's not a debate because a debate needs facts. What we are doing right here is antidote. That's why we post the link into discussion because it could be
okay,
right.
bro. Let me say what I want to say.
Still not done. You can go after me, Nilo. Do you know?
Let him land, Nilotic.
Yeah, it can be that in Johannesburg and around the area, Nigerians are selling most of the drugs. What I'm more interested to, because we now basically finding an entire system is, okay, how big is the system? Because I hear antidotes or stories. I want actually facts from the state, what they are doing around it. Now you can go, Nilo.
Bro, if you told me a story about what's happening in Germany, and then it's corroborated by someone else who's also a Somali, then it's corroborated by a German, an actual ethnic German, then it's corroborated by even another ethnic group. So 5 different ethnic groups are telling the same story. And you're still here saying, oh, it can't be true because XYZ, because of XYZ. At some point, bro, just admit that it's most likely going to be true. It's not even coming. Even your own fellow Nigerian.
You just said it's a story.
No. We don't make it low IQ. We don't make it low IQ. I just want, because the problem is, I want to.
Bro, they don't keep statistics on illegal Nigerians, bro. They just call them illegal Africans and they just call it a day. Or mostly they don't even keep the statistics. It's an African country. What the fuck do you expect?
No. I'm saying, give me the stats of the illegal Africans. Do you have anything? Something.
What are you on about? I just told you they don't keep statistics based on ethnic groups, on subdivisions of ethnic groups.
That's why I say give me the African stats.
All right. Hold on, Snake Man and Nilotic. Let's hear from FM. So FM has the floor now. He's Nigerian. FM, I was saying from your accent that you sounded Yoruba. Am I right?
I'm a Yoruba man from Ogun State.
Yes. So you are a Nigerian. You are Yoruba. You are a footballer turned football agent. So you are somewhat in the middle income, upper to lower middle income sort of bracket, South Africa wise. Is that right? And then you have a presence in Johannesburg. Is that right?
Yeah.
And from your understanding of the drug situation in Johannesburg, take it from there. Tell us what you were saying. Pick it up from where you were.
So, what I was saying, in my life, I've never seen like drugs before. I've never. I've stayed in Europe. let's not go there. But when I
Settle
came to
down.
South Africa,
You're an athlete. What about all those steroids that you pump into your body to?
no.
Carry on.
So
Carry on.
one man, no, seriously, when it comes to drugs, even if you're playing soccer, you better not go there. Look what happened to this guy playing for Juventus of Pogba. You know, so you don't play with it. So, but if you're in South Africa, the way they do it, and I don't want to call names, I don't want to like play the tribal thing here. It's so appalling. It's something that you'll be ashamed. Like I'm not saying, because I've stayed in South Africa for like 6 or 7 years. I see. You know, that lady that you saw crying on the video, there are so many here. I wish I can just do a video something for you and just look at my back here. You see them, they're just sleeping on the floor here.
Do a video interview in South Africa and send it to me. You have my Instagram handle, so do a street vox pop and then send it to me. Carry on.
So what I'm trying to say in this is that what we experience, I don't want to talk about what I don't know. I'm talking about we Nigerians. What we go through here is mostly caused by we Nigerians. That's what I'm trying to say. Because what they do here, I'm telling you, you'll be passing. They will even be dragging you that they want to sell drugs to you. Like calling you that, do you want drugs? And they do it in most of, I don't know how they call it. They call it, it's not a mall. It's like a mini mall. So some Nigerians, they've got a shop there. When you go there to buy things, you will see them selling drugs to the kids. Even like school children. That's why you see them, they get, like we that are innocent at times, if these things start, we have to go and hide too, because these guys, they don't want to know whether you're playing soccer or they don't know. They just see you in Nigeria, you selling drugs. I'm telling you, they don't care. Like this xenophobic, the last time you heard when they came to burn some cars, that is what caused everything, because they went to go and sell drugs to some, I don't know, they said one of the governor's kids or something. So, woman, I don't want to talk too much.
How endangered do you feel as a Nigerian living in South Africa? How much under threat? How much under threat do you feel? Just give us just a little feel of what it's like being a Nigerian living in South Africa.
Well, man, if you go out every day and come back, you need to pray, because South Africa is full of guns. Guns is like nothing here. You can get a gun on the street, I'm telling you. Like somebody can just come and shoot. I've experienced gunshot like more than 10 times. Like walking, I see shooting somebody like it's like a child's play here. I'm telling you, it's like nothing. You can die in a second in South Africa. So it's terrible here.
Do you feel targeted as a Nigerian? Are Nigerians being targeted?
Hold on. F-man, where do the guns come from?
Those guns come from, I don't know. It's like like in Nigeria, we hardly, even our cops, they don't have guns. But in South Africa, I don't know. Even taxi drivers. Oh, what do you call all these? In Nigeria, we call them combis. Taxi drivers, they've got guns here.
Where I come from, we call them tuk-tuk.
Huh?
Tuk-tuk driver. Tuk-tuk driver.
Yeah.
FM, most of them come from Mozambique.
They use gun, the taxi drivers, they use gun. Like if you're flying now, you are driving now, you just have a little problem with it, they will say, hey, go back to your country. If you don't take that, they'll just shoot you and just drive away. And
most of the guns come from Mozambique. Yeah, it was just to answer Snake Man. It's mostly from Mozambique. Not all, but at least 80% is from Mozambique.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that.
Can you post?
Can I ask you a question? The Nigerian brother that just spoke here. Is in the UK, we have the Jamaicans and some of the Black Brits and some of the in Asians that bring in heroin and Class A drugs in the country, and they're known to be the drug dealer. Should the white people go out in the streets and actually start targeting them and labeling all the black people as drug dealers and criminals and trying to deport them?
Yeah, you see, if they start targeting...
No, yes or no, brother, yes or no.
But, well, man, can you tell him to repeat the question? I couldn't hear him very well.
I'm calling right now, I'm speaking from England, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? In England,
I can hear.
the roadman in England, that means it's the man that sells the drugs in the street. It's like the Nigerian that you described just now, are Jamaicans and some other blacks that are born here, and the Indian and the Asians, like the Indian and the Pakistani that bring in Class A drugs. Should white people go and gather them in the street and try to deport them all and class all black people in England as criminals and drug dealers?
No. But in South Africa, you know the funniest thing, that won't be able
No,
to
but no.
happen.
Should they do that? Yes or no?
He said no.
No.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. You know, that's why my problem is, my brother. You know, I understand. Okay, you have pointed out some based on your personal living experience. I cannot deny that. You know, because then obviously that's trying to mislead the people on here. Because you came in and you said that's your living experience. I will accept that absolutely. But what the action that the South Africans are doing against our brothers that are living over there is wrong because.
No, that's not a problem. FM, can I ask you a question? Where do you think most of the drugs come from? What is your experience? Who?
Okay. I can say maybe from I don't know. Like, you know, I'm just saying I can't say you don't hold me to my word. I think it comes from
No, not
Brazil.
most. But what do you think where the drugs are coming from?
I'm telling you, I believe they come from Brazil actually. Brazil mostly.
Actually, cannabis comes from mostly South America, but hardcore shit like heroin comes from, say, Asiatic countries.
I know they say Brazil or something because at times they do arrest some. You know, I know like some Nigerians used to make some girls to go bring drugs for them from Brazil, from whatever. They will get arrested. The girl is going to point the Nigerian. It's going to be all over the news in Nigeria. They won't even talk about the girl. They'll be talking about the Nigerian that send that girl to go and bring the drugs.
So are you saying that the entire trade of mostly cannabis is controlled by Nigerians from South Africa from South America?
There is no cannabis trade controlled by Nigerians.
No, I can't say.
What are you on about? Cannabis is grown anywhere and everywhere.
I know, but most drugs that comes from South America is cannabis. That is a share load.
No, it's not. You know what cannabis is, right?
Let me ask FM a couple more questions, and then
I can show you the link.
Coke comes from South America. Not cannabis is grown in Africa as well, especially in Southern Africa. They pretty much grow it all themselves.
All right, hold on, Nilotic. Let me ask FM a couple more questions, and then I want to bring Flex up into the conversation after that. But the first thing is FM.
Yes.
Is that the association? Do the South Africans essentially associate Nigerians with drug dealing overall?
Yeah.
Just as a single narrative.
Yeah, they believe we all sell drugs. If they see a Nigerian, they just see drugs. That's it. See, once you tell them you're a Nigerian, they believe you're selling drugs. That's it.
All right. And then the second question is, why are Nigerians migrating to South Africa? Why?
Well, man, I can tell you, I believe that's the easiest visa you can get in Nigeria. I don't know. I think so. I'm telling you, I think that's the easiest visa you can get in Nigeria now. I'm telling you, I believe so.
Because I'm asking, is life better? Are they better off because we have a bigger economy and they have better opportunities? Probably not now in Nigeria. So why? I can understand migrating to a Western country, but why migrate to South Africa? Is it to exploit their naivety?
No. I don't think it's to exploit. They all come here for a better life because South Africa is far, far better than Nigeria. You've got good water, light, good roads. Everything is fine. I won't lie to you. Apart from life in South Africa is far, far better than Nigeria. You can't even compare.
Oh my God, FM, he might kick you out.
Huh?
He might kick you out. He's been trying to tell us that Nigerian life is better than South African life.
No. In terms of amenities, they probably have the relics of the Dutch influence, which they will destroy soon. But our whole study,
Exactly.
Well, man, if you've been to places in South Africa, you think you're in the US. If you stay in something, there are places in South Africa you won't even want to go to the US. I'm telling you, there are places
No,
in
we
South Africa,
understand.
especially if
We,
you've
we,
been to
understand.
Cape Town.
We understand that. You know, we agree with that because of the Dutch infrastructure
Yeah,
due,
yeah, yeah.
due to their settlement.
All
No,
right.
but
All right. Hold steady, Al. Hold steady, Al. Hold steady, Al. And stay there just for as long as you can, FM, because you'll be our go-to guy now. You are
Okay.
resident in South Africa. We don't negotiate.
So Nylon is not a good
Yeah, but
source.
he's not Nigerian, is he? So is that so it doesn't have the mental acuity of a Nigerian. So
yes,
it's
one man. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't have you are a Nigerian now, Snake Man, so it doesn't have the
Nylon, I just wanted to say I'm a Nigerian and I believe you. I never questioned that.
it's but hold steady. Let's bring I want to bring Afri Demos into the conversation because it's a voice that we've not documented yet on this platform. So good to meet you, my guy.
Hey, how you doing?
We're all good.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing, man. I'm listening to the conversation. One thing, I've heard this conversation time and time again, and the fact is, most of you Nigerians, you come online and you're in denial, and you have Al who's asking idiotic questions, talking about should the white people do this? Who cares about what should be done in the UK? In South Africa, they do not want people coming there poisoning their citizens. How hard is that? No one is saying all Nigerians do it, but you guys keep playing semantics, moving the goalpost, and this is a fact. This is documented. It's not only in South Africa. Nigerians do have a terrible reputation destroying other people's country. This is a fact. Okay, no one is saying, no one is gonna say.
That's a lie.
Hold on.
Everybody.
Yo, Afridamos, I don't believe that's true. What is your evidence, Afridamos?
Don't let me have to put you at the back. It's an impassioned topic, so but let's not have voices cascading over each other. But you can interject, of course, but let it not be rowdy. But I just
all right. Let me come out. I'll come after him.
Look, Al is over here fanboying. He's not Nigerian. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But go ahead, sir.
I lived in more countries. I lived in more countries than you, Afridemos.
I'm going to have to put you in the back. I did say don't make it rowdy. So sorry, I just wanted to ask you: do I hear an undercurrent of Ghanaian in your voice, Afridemos?
No, sir. I am not.
He's Gambian.
I'm not a Ghanaian. I am from the Gambia.
Oh God!
And I live in the United States.
People come from the Gambia. I've never met anyone that's confessed to coming from the Gambia. But I carry on.
What do you mean they never confess? Is that supposed to be a confession?
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I deal in reality, in facts, and the fact of the matter is, this is not only in South Africa. You go across Africa. This is what is being said. It's hard to trust, a Nigerian individual. So if we come online and we are seeing what we are seeing to be true, and some of you are coming here, you're trying to gaslight people, denying it, moving the goalposts. That means you guys are supporting criminality. Do you get that? Because now you're making the other Nigerians, like the brother that's speaking facts here, he's not a drug dealer. He lives in South Africa, but he is not playing the game that most of you are playing, because he understands, like, okay, these people are from Nigeria just like me, but they are here doing this thing, making everyone vulnerable. No one, like Hush Puppy, right? The 419er, Hush Puppy, for example. There's plenty of 419ers, right?
Are you a Nigerian hater?
Oh, here we go. Why would sir, I don't hate anyone. I have hate for no one. Okay, but speaking facts is facts.
He hates Tariq Nasheed.
I hate no one, but I'm just saying, you guys cannot come here, and start pretending like the South Africans are just accusing Nigerians. Nigerians are not the only people there. If we see Nigerians, they are getting accused of the same thing in South Africa, Italy, Gambia, Kenya, Senegal, you name all these countries. So why don't you people say, okay, let's take a look at this. In Malaysia, we're seeing Nigerians being put on death row. Are you saying they are being accused?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
What I'm trying to do.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. If you took the Nigerians out of the equation, if you remove them entirely from South Africa, will the South African drug problem, will it stop or reduce or remain the same? So take it from there, Afridemos.
Can I answer that? Afridemos,
You said would they what?
Now, let me ask again. If you removed Nigerians from South Africa entirely, remove the Nigerian equation from the South African drug problem, will the South African drugs problem, will it stop or reduce or remain the same?
Sir, I don't know. What I know to be true is Nigerians need to stop going to these people's country and selling drugs there. Hold yourself accountable.
Hold on. How can you say that?
Hold yourself accountable. Do not go there and sell drugs. Why is this so hard? Why are you people asking?
That is not the question.
No, the question doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Do not sell drugs in people's country.
Afridamos, the question was, if you take out...
I heard him, sir. I heard him.
Now
Snake Man is speaking.
Reduce. Okay, how would he know? He's not in South Africa. Rule reduce. We're telling you rule reduce. I've been telling you this, bro. But you guys keep moving the goalposts. You keep asking the same question 20 million times.
Because you cannot say, okay, Nigerians are a big chunk of it, and if you take them out of the equation, you just don't know. It makes no... Stand on your mount, Afridamos. One follows the other.
Look, that is a dumb question to even ask. How hard is it for you? You're not from there. Why just not sell drugs and commit criminality in people's country? So here's the thing. Because your question is stupid, sir. Your question doesn't make sense. Hold on. So you are asking me. Wait, you are asking me to answer. So South Africans should not stop the Nigerians from selling drugs because in your head, you're trying to say. Hold on. You're asking me. Hold on. You're asking me something. You're asking me something that didn't happen yet. Why don't we deal with what is happening? How hard is that? We don't know what that would look like, but one thing is for sure. Hold on.
You claimed that most of the
Afridamos, you don't live in South Africa. How are you sure that you know about South Africa's problem with Nigerians?
We just heard South African here, sir.
I live in South Africa.
Yeah, let's allow South African to talk.
Yeah,
Some
let
of you
South Africans speak about Nigerians.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, we don't have to argue about this. South Africa belongs to South Africans. South Africans will make rules in their country. Whether we can come here and talk all day about who South Africans should allow in their country, it's really up to us. We don't even need to come here and explain. But we are here. As one of us, I'm here, I'm representing South Africans. I'll explain. South Africans have been having complaint with many Nigerians busted on drug selling in South Africa. Am I saying it's all Nigerians? Of course, it's not all. But every country, after so many years, busting a specific group, representing a specific nationality, week in, week out, busting them on a very specific criminal problem, like selling drugs, human trafficking. South Africans have got a right to say, you know what, we don't have to deal with these people entirely. Whether the good ones or the bad ones, we are sick and tired. Can they just stop coming to our country? That's the right that our people deserve in their own country.
Are you including the doctors and the lawyers and the accountants and the bankers as well, who are all Nigerians? Are you including all of them?
Okay, let me answer that. First of all,
that's why I asked because
all the black doctors in South Africa are Nigerian.
We have got
all the intelligent black people in South Africa.
Let the South African talk, please.
Allow me to speak. There's a stat that shows that all foreign doctors that are coming from the continent in South Africa, they are probably 400 and something, less than 500. probably we've got maybe 100 to 200 Nigerian doctors. South Africa's got more than 10,000 to 20,000 doctors, if I remember the stats correct. So we don't really need that if you look at the numbers. We don't need you. We produce the best doctors in Africa. If you can look at even the rankings of our universities, they are the best in Africa. As for the banking, I don't know any Nigerian who's a banker in South Africa. We got the best of all the professionals on the continent because our universities are simply the best. So no, sir, we don't need your professionals. Nigeria need them.
Okay, Lucy, I have a question because you're South African. What are the stats? I just want to see how big it is. It's basically stats, the drug stats.
Okay, so the drug stats I haven't checked, but I'm talking about the people who live on the ground. So the people on the ground are complaining. They say they see this themselves. So as I said again, we can argue here all day, but South Africans will decide in their country who they want and who they don't want.
I'm just
that is true. That is
hold
true.
on.
That is true.
Relax.
No, sorry.
No, Al, no.
Why?
Let me talk. I haven't talked yet. Let me ask Lozy a question because everybody's getting emotional. I just want to get to the root of the issue, right? So Lozy, I have a few questions for you. Just answer them as quickly as you can, right? So, is drugs the number one problem that South Africans have with migration? Yes or no?
No, I don't know how to say that, but I wouldn't say yes. I think it's a no.
No, so it's other factors, not so drugs wouldn't be one of the top factors that South Africans are complaining about.
It will be one of the top, but I wouldn't say it's the first because I think the impact that we have is just the impact of influx of migrants in totality. Like there's just too many people in total. So there's many factors, but I wouldn't say drugs is at the top because South Africa doesn't have the biggest drug problem, to be honest. We don't even have a culture of drugs. That's why we are raising this today, because we see this rising with a specific group of migrants coming to our country. Historically, we don't have a big problem of this. We have always drink alcohol, consumed alcohol for most part, just like any nation. But we never seen we've never had a huge drug problem.
It's mostly alcohol.
Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
Hold on.
Because I'm just trying to answer. Yeah. Let
me ask this question to bring in another voice. I was going to ask you. You can take it on. Actually, flexed up. This problem that that these African types that they seem to have with Nigeria. What do you attribute it to? Because we're starting to identify that a lot of these African types they universally somewhat all seem to have an issue with Nigerians. But what do you attribute that to? Is that some form of inferiority complex, would you say, flexed up?
Don't answer it.
One man. I'm not going to answer this question because I'm trying to talk about the actual topic. Maybe you can create another topic that has to do with whatever you want. Yeah.
All right. Carry on.
So yeah. Is it Lozy? Yeah, Lozy. So let me ask you something, right? Yeah, I still have a couple of more questions to ask you. So the other question that I have is, do you hear about any other problems with or any problems with any other migrants from Africa selling drugs, or is it mainly just Nigerians? Are there any other nationalities?
Look, to be honest, here's the deal. Can someone mute, because I think there's a feedback from someone.
It's
okay. I will attribute.
No, I'm not. It's not. I'm muted. I'm always be muted.
I will attribute the drug problem in South Africa or in any country to Nigerians. In South Africa, we even before Nigerians came here, of course, we had drugs, but they were not as much as there wasn't something visible or a culture of drugs. The locals do sell drugs, just like if you go to Nigeria, the locals sell drugs there, just like everywhere as well. We have busted Tanzanians a few times as well who were colluding in selling drugs. Few Ghanaians, few, I'll say the other countries, Cameroon. But the Nigerians tend to stand out as the numbers are there. Even most of the times, the people who make news, either be it in scamming or drugs, they trace them back to Nigeria for most part. And I've also heard of people saying some people will lie and fake to be Nigerians when they busted. I don't know how true that is. but we have busted many people. A lot of time, it's been for years now, where many people come out to be Nigerians, to be honest. So I hope I answered your I
Okay.
answered you.
And- yeah, and I have a couple more questions. So the other question is, have you heard any reports, or do you know if Nigerians are working with the local population, like the local drug dealers, or is there a rivalry? So is there a cooperation or rivalry between South African drug dealers and Nigerian drug dealers?
There can't be a coalition. There can't be a coalition because here's the settings in South Africa. Most Nigerians are busted in the inner cities. In the inner cities are not like communities. If you go to Soweto and try to sell drugs, you won't succeed as a foreigner because Soweto is an established community. Whereas in the inner cities, it's all South Africans coming from provinces, be it students, be it just working. So we are all strangers to the cities, and Nigerians excel in those areas because there's no established communities. So they tend to have their own organization, and they like as Nigerians, they network amongst each other because there's no local competition. The South Africans are not really selling drugs in the inner cities. If there's any South African selling drugs, our suspect is in the communities, like in the townships, in the urban areas, if possible. So I think most of them are busted in the inner cities because they don't really collide with anyone, and they wouldn't go in established communities because the locals there's an establishment, they wouldn't allow that. So if you go to Soweto, if you go to Mamelodi in our townships, there's like communities that guide themselves. They always hold meetings. The people will gang up against you and come and fetch you out if you're selling drugs. I have seen an attempt of them trying to go to penetrate those communities, but I think there's too much blockage as compared to the inner cities.
Okay, and then the other questions. Give me no. Give me.
When I say hold on, just hold on.
Okay.
We don't want it to be a long and winding question and answer session. Ask
No.
last question. Can you hold on, please?
Well, the reason why I'm asking one minute.
When I say hold on, just hold on. Ask that last question. He responds. Then we play this clip that Kaisos just put on the screen, and then we use that clip to bring Andre into the conversation. So you ask your question, he responds, and then we go to the video. Fair,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Yeah. So yeah, Lozy. So which demographic or demographics would you say are the main customers of these drug dealers?
I wouldn't say I know, but perhaps it will be the locals because the South Africans in numbers are many in their country. And of course, for example, the Nigerians that come to South Africa, they are in the mission. They're not your average Nigerians. So when you come to South Africa, you will find the top South Africans, the middle, and the lowest. So they're probably they're accessing the market of the poorest, the ones who probably, like, in any society, you've got people who are losers, basically people who will even take drugs. They have got access to that. We have few foreigners who fall for drugs as well. Most of them, they come from neighboring countries. Just like someone wouldn't live as far as Ethiopia or Somalia or Nigeria to be a loser in South Africa. But our neighboring countries, because they can easily walk in South Africa, you find out that even in terms of migrants, we tend to also have the best and the lowest from countries like Zimbabwe and Mozambique. You get my point. But as far as for you to leave Nigeria, you need to be one of the top class, because even by financially, it requires more for you to be here in the first place. So they're not people who are here to play. They're on a mission. Just like now, if I leave South Africa and go to Nigeria and sell drugs, I'll access one of the market of the lowest form of Nigerians there and sell it to them. That happens in any society. I hope I answered you very well. I believe the locals are the biggest customers into this crime of buying drugs.
Thank you, Lozy.
Okay,
all right.
Fair enough.
Wait, one second now. Let me just play this video, and also shout out to today's sponsor. Shout out to Alexis for the $1, and also Zulia for $10. Oh, sorry, £10. So this video here was sent to me by a South African. Ayobo Mpili says, even the ambassador of Nigeria is shocked the bad behavior in South Africa. Let's see.
In the prisons. Of course, I have you here, so you can give us the precise figures, because some of the media houses quoted 6,089, others spoke about 10,000 in total, but just over 6,000 for drug-related offenses. Now, Is any of this correct? And if so, how do you deal with this kind of situation? How have you been dealing with this kind of numbers involving the citizens? You've alluded to that earlier on in the interview where you talk about the challenge of facing this kind of situation. But if the figures are indeed true, if any of these kind of figures are true, how do you tackle this? How have you been tackling this?
Well, you see, these figures were just given to us not quite long, but it's been in the process, because I attended a meeting where the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa called all the African ambassadors in Pretoria. We had a meeting in April, on the 1st of April and on the 5th of April. And they made a presentation that really got me scared, that all the major crimes, name it murder, drugs, sexual assault, trafficking, human trafficking, robbery, fraud, and all the rest of them. They gave a sort of figures and graphs. And when I looked at the one relating to drugs, I saw it very high like this. We are almost, I think, maybe number one, according to what was presented to us that day. So
Okay, so I just want to clarify, and then you can go, Andre. That guy did not say he agrees. He just says the data that he was shown states that. But yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, that's very sad. You have people like Afrodamos, they don't live in South Africa. They have so much things to say about Nigerians. And this guy is for sure a Nigerian hater. And
Haters! They was born to hate. You can't get that.
Brother, let me speak first. And South African brothers, this is you looking over your, what do you need? This is you're being xenophobic to Nigerians because you're facing problems, you're facing economic problems, but you can't do that. We got to work together. We got to be Pan-African. We can't discriminate against Africans in the African soil. Okay, we got to respect each other. And people like that, like you will create hate. If you create hate, Nigerians will suffer in South Africa. And Nigerians are less than Somalis. There are more Somalis in South Africa than there are Nigerians. But I hear about Nigerians so much, but this is propaganda.
Okay, Andrew, can I respond after you're done, brother?
Yeah, you can respond, but you put everything on Nigerians. Everything on Nigerians. You look at the South Africa has one of the worst crimes in the planet, and you will relate everything on Nigerians to ridiculous. It's really sad. It's really sad. Lozi, you can go after now.
Okay, I think you were not listening to me when I was speaking, especially when the brother asked me questions. I never said put everything on.
No, honestly, I think Lozi.
But anyway,
I'm going to have to remove you at some point, Al. If you continue like this, let the conversation flow.
I want to describe. I wasn't talking to you, Lozi. I was talking to the Afrodamas. Afrodamas said that Nigerians are destroying South Africa and they're destroying many African countries, and thus clear propaganda. And this guy hates Nigerians.
All right, let me. The people came here even yesterday. They said a lot of things about us. I didn't call in. I don't fall for that because people have got this resentment toward us. The people were just saying anything. I'm used to it. I don't do that. What I'm gonna tell you is this: scapegoating South Africans and saying when there's something they against in their country and saying it's
xenophobic. Can you scroll down?
Can I speak now? Can I finish? It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help migrants who are living in South Africa because we host the largest African migrants on the continent.
Where most cocaine comes from.
Can I continue without you interrupting me?
Okay, land that point, and then Snake Man.
Yeah. So if South Africans were that bad, there wouldn't be many people flocking here because they choose South Africa ahead of any country in Africa in terms of numbers of migration. The point is, when South Africans say they don't want this kind of thing in their country, they don't want you, there's little you can do. At least listen to them and try to cooperate with them, because in their country, South Africans, you can come here and complain every day and call them xenophobic, whatever. They're gonna do what they're gonna do in their country. They're gonna put the rules that works for them in their country. That's my point. There's nothing all of you can do with the rules they want to implement in their country. We can complain, say South Africans are this and this, but they're not running to your country. They're not trying to live in your country in large numbers. You're the ones, guys, who have got your people running to us. There's a difference. It's important for you guys to listen to us. We hold the cards, not you guys. And we will do by the rules in our country. We will play by the rules we want. Call us xenophobic or not, we will deal with our issues however we see fit. What happens after we deport certain group of people is none of your business on this panel. It's up to us to decide and see what works for us. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah,
Lucy, you haven't addressed how much I hear about Nigerians, but there are more Horn Africans in South Africa. But I never hear about there are more Ethiopians or Nigerians in South Africa, but I never hear about Ethiopians doing stuff. But
that means our people. That means our people don't have much problems with them. What is so difficult?
No, but why is the problem in your country for you all about Nigerians? Doesn't that not make sense? Because there are less than 100,000 Nigerians in your country, and the problems that you creating or trying to talk about it all have to do with Nigerians.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. Hold on. Let me answer that. You've answered your own question, Andre. This is not intelligent. You said Ethiopians are there. So you're proving that the South Africans, what you're saying they're xenophobic, is not true, because these Ethiopians are there. They are not doing this. They are doing business. So obviously, South Africans are not bothering people who are not doing illegal things in their country. I don't know how you guys can justify even 3 Nigerians selling drugs in these people's country, saying they have local criminals. It's their people. They can have their criminals in their country. You have no right to go add on to their criminals. How do you guys not get this?
Okay,
how hard is this? Even if your number is small and you're making a lot of noise and you're known for criminality, that proves that one rotten fruit can spoil the whole bag. So whether it's 5, 10, whatever, there has been enough to sell drugs to where you guys got the reputation. Are the Nigerians being accused of it in Malaysia for no reason, in Germany, in other places, Kenya? Like, what's going on? Let's just be real.
But that is the point.
I've been waiting to speak, guys.
Yeah, you can go after me, Magnesium.
Hold on. Let me establish some order.
You don't decide anything.
Sorry. So can you hold on, please, 1 second? Snake Man, talk. Everyone, hold on. Snake Man, talk us through this graph that you've brought on, and then after Snake Man gives us the explanation to this graph, then Magnesi can come in and give us commentaries on it, and then the conversation carries on. We can have the interjections, but let it not be rowdy. Snake Man, what are we looking at?
Now, because we must understand, I'm not against justifying the xenophobia. I said, hey, xenophobia all you want, but the problem for me is it must be pragmatical. What I showed here is a graph showing where most of the drugs, and in this case, cocaine, comes from in South Africa. It comes from Brazil. What I'm interested in is, and South Africa has such a big problem. We know that South Africa is a very big trade state. Basically, a lot of trade comes through from the Americas to Asia. What I'm interested is more because we must understand. Let us say Nigerians are the drug dealers. Till now, I never see any stats. I wished there were some stats so we can focus on the areas where they are the biggest. But what I'm showing here is the stats where the drugs are coming from. In this specific case, cocaine. Heroin on something comes from Asia. I already pulled that receipt in the back chat. And what I'm more interested in is this group we talked about, the xenophobic group who talk about it. It's good that they're focusing on the drug dealers. That is all good. But why is they not focusing on the illegal trade that comes in from outside?
Snake Man, can I respond to that in respect, because I'm being muted every time I'm trying to talk,
Yeah,
and other people.
you can respond to that. Well, once again, I'm not disagreeing with the drug dealers
Bra
going outside.
Brazil has bunch of Nigerians. You just told on yourselves.
Yeah,
They are the ones
next.
bringing the drugs. They are the ones bringing the drugs from Brazil. Just so you know.
Okay,
can you guys hear me?
Go ahead,
All right.
Nagmis. I'll come up.
Okay, okay. Let's do some Macnizi.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, Nakmizi.
So the issue here is that wherever we see Nigerians in the world, we see problems. Okay, the brother just brought up Brazil. When he did that, I remember seeing a news article back in the day about Nigerians being arrested for drug trafficking in Brazil. So I started Googling. Not only are Nigerians doing drug trafficking in Brazil, they're also doing fraud in Brazil. So wherever they go, they seem to be exporting criminality with them. And this isn't just to throw a shot, but really to ask the question, what is it about Nigerians or Nigeria that has them being the face of international African crime? So when you go to France, when you go to
that's
England,
your narrative, though. There's no doubt.
No, wait. Well, hold on. Let me.
No.
Can I finish?
Can I
finish?
No. Let Magnisi.
Wait. Can I finish though?
Just drops the links. Just drops the links to one man.
Yeah, carry on.
No, wait. But can I finish though?
Yeah, carry on.
You've been on here regulating people. Then as soon as I speak, you're saying that's my narrative. It's not a narrative. I'm looking at Department of Justice articles. I'm looking at. Let me pull it up right here. Just so you know, I'm not just pulling this out of my butt. Excuse me. Actually, Nigerian news sources. More than 100 Nigerians arrested in Brazil over fraud. Emmanuel Nwude defrauding 242 million out of Banco Noroeste and alleged attack on a. Okay, so he defrauded 242 million. Firmino, one of Brazilians' most wanted criminals, arrested in a romance scam. 60 Nigerians among 210 suspected in Sao Paulo. Mullahs, a Nigerian mafia, reaches Venezuela. 72-year-old and 456 Nigerians languishing in Brazilian prisons. So there's definitely an issue. And to really find out what the problem is, we got to hear from the honest Nigerians to say, yo, why are my people out in these countries making other Nigerians look bad? Because Nigerians that I've seen tend to be very high and mighty, like we're this and we're that. But everywhere you go, the Nigerian passport, especially in Africa, is looked at as a negative. So I'll land my plane there.
How many Nigerians are
can I please?
All right, let's have a Nigerian response to that. Ola, come in.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting topic, but I feel that unfortunately there are a lot of misinformation and misrepresentation just going out due to a group of a certain country just figured out for malice and for misinformation. You know how to know some of these the truth about this. You look at some international organization on how they rank drug trafficking. You'll be shocked that why South Africa is even among the top, is in the top 10 or top 5 of the ranking. Let me just put my this in here to just see the action number.
Put the link in the private chat so I can put it up.
Yeah, the only link I can put here without you paying is finance, Yahoo Finance. I put the there. So because of that link, we have to pay subscription. So when you look at it, I think South Africa is rated. Republic of South Africa is rated 8 in the index. So, and why Afghanistan is leading it. Now, there's a problem with Nigerians, and this is why people misunderstand Nigeria. We are loud people. If you see a Nigerian hair now, if he made $5, everybody on the street will know that he has made money. Whereas someone somewhere has stolen, like say $500, you'll never hear them. That's the narrative of Indians. In the world of cyber crimes today, what people call Yahoo Yahoo, you can never be the Russians and the Indians in that. But the fewer Nigerians that manage to get to those places, you will hear the noise everywhere. Whereas here where I live in Canada, you trace the Indians, the Middle East people to tax fraud, immigration fraud, a lot of fraud, the way they are, in fact, in banking, that the way they will act into your ATM, your banking, your banking system, but you will never hear because theirs is not to make noise. I think the noise making of Nigeria, because we like to party, we like to flaunt our words, is where the problem is coming from. And unfortunately, because I was almost a victim of this in 2006 when we were supposed to go for training in South Africa, but then we eventually we missed that training, but we now went for holiday. Did you know, for giving some South African immigration people some kind of a gift during the Christmas time, the police right at the airport there just came to us and started checking us? You know, personally, I was just laughing because I knew I was going back to my country. I was not going to stay in South Africa anyway because there's nothing I was going to do in South Africa better than what I was doing in Nigeria then, because I was well to do. So to me, it's all about that noise. Most of these stories are just a misinformation, and unfortunately, the community in South Africa, unfortunately, they believe so. My dear people, Nigerians are not criminals. Yes, we have some few criminals among Nigerians, but these few elements we are talking about was the population. That is why today that when you go to America, they will tell you, because the population of the criminals, they are not much like those people that are successful in Nigeria. You go to Nigeria today, among the immigrants, you see that the number of the graduates, those people that have university degree in South Africa, in America, you will see Nigeria. Come to Canada too, you will see Nigerians doing well in the politics, doing well in the entrepreneurship and fintech.
No, we know the Nigerian success story. Ola, what we're talking about is the Nigerian drugs issue.
Yeah, Nigeria has drug issues just like Asian, just like every other people. But the noise making is why they think Nigeria is the one. If you look very well, okay, where I live now, the Indians, they are well linked to anything, drug, whether marijuana, whether other, but we never hear. It takes the police.
Are you in South Africa right now?
Can I respond after this one man? One man, can I respond after him?
Yes, land the point. Answer Snake Man's question. I think it's in Canada, Snake Man. Land that point, Ola, and then we'll have a rebuttal from Lozi, who is a South African, and then Afro Demos can chime in, and then Jide come in as well. So we move the conversation round. But land it, Ola.
Okay, what I just want to say is that it is true that some few very insignificant number of Nigerians are into crime. But why people think Nigerians are doing it? Yeah, because those
what are you making of the NACMIZI's narrative that all Nigerians are criminal minded? This is the narrative he's trying to push.
Of course, that's a joke taken too far.
Well, first of all, I never said that. I never said that all Nigerians are criminal minded.
Thank you for debunking that.
Can you say a percentage, Magnesi?
No, I asked the question. I said, what is it about Nigeria that has their people going out putting a bad name on other Nigerians? Why is it when you put in Nigerian crime in, right, you get a whole bunch of other countries? So what is it? Why is the Nigerian passport looked at as shady? Why did the brother get extra scrutinized because he's Nigerian in another country?
30,000. 30,000. What is the entire population of South Africa?
No, that's how many Nigerians will live in South Africa.
So
those are the documents. Those are the documented ones. Those are the documented ones.
Lozy, stop, Lozy, please.
And
Lozy,
that's
stop.
2011.
Can show us your stats, Lozy.
It's like 300,000 and 2% are in jail. So it's about 30,000 in jail, not 30,000.
All right. Let NACMIZI land this point and then come in after him, Lozy. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, the recent numbers that I've seen was about 330,000 Nigerians registered. That's not including illegals there. And of those 330,000, or there was 2% in jail for crimes related to drug offenses, prostitution.
2% of 30,000. How much is it?
No, not of 30,000, 330,000, brother.
So where are you getting those figures from? Those are wild. That's a wild chasm between the 30,000 and now 300,000. Where are you getting that from?
Well, the 30,000 was from 2011, so apparently there's more there. We should just Google it now to verify what the Nigerian population in South Africa is. I'll do it right now.
Can I speak now, 1 minute?
Yeah, carry on, Lozi.
Okay, look, let's not do the jump around and all that. I'm not here to show the picture of Nigerians being good or bad. I think you guys are trying to show Nigeria being good or whatever. That's up to you guys.
We try to find out the stats.
All right, Snake Man, let me speak. What I can tell you is that the people in South Africa on the ground, they are fed up. It's been going on for years. They don't want it anymore. We can argue here, we can show many stats. The South Africans, as I said, my people will decide what's going on in their country, who they allow. It can be a bitter pill. People can take it however they want. But my people on the ground, they will decide. The stats that you're going to show, it won't matter. That's what I'm trying to say.
What would be the criteria? So what would be the criteria for that decision? Would it be based on xenophobia and prejudice?
He just said stats doesn't matter. Stats doesn't matter. Feelings matter.
Are working with their government. At this point, it doesn't matter whether it's xenophobia, it's racism. They don't care. They care about protecting their country and their kids from criminals. That's what matters for us. Whether you conclude that is xenophobia, it's up to you. We will do what is best for our country. And I hope I'm being clear. It's our country. We will do the rules in our country. However you take it, paint us any paint you want. We're not trying to squeeze ourselves in Nigeria. It's the other way around. We've got many of your people this side, and we will decide what's going on in our house, in our country.
30,000 is not much.
Lozy. Our people is not the problem. Lozy. Our people is not the problem, and you got to fix your problem. Our people are not the problem.
Andrew, you're not going to tell us what is our problem. That's the first thing you're not going to do.
But Nigerians are not the problem. Don't you agree with that?
Look, you can say that, but South Africans are going to decide who stays in their country. You can say
basically what he's saying is stats don't matter, facts don't, feelings matter.
How is the minority?
Exactly. However I want to see. I listen to South Africans on the ground, and those are the people I care about. And you on this panel, you can use your stats. I listen to my people on the ground, and that is what is important for me.
Lozy, give me stats on illegal immigrants who from Nigeria. Give me stats. You don't have stats.
How our government has confessed to say they've lost numbers. They've estimated that South Africa is housing in total illegal and legal people could be estimated to 15 million.
I gave you the best source.
Hold on. That's an unrealistic statistic. Hold on.
1 minute, can I speak?
Zulu, what's the population of South Africa?
It's 60 million. You must ask the South African. It's 60 million.
And you are saying 15 million is illegal. That seems an unrealistic statistic.
Did you listen to what I said?
This is one fourth of the population.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
I said 1 man. I live in South Africa. I said the government estimated the combination of legal and illegal could be 15 million. But that's besides the point. My point is, here in South Africa, can I just speak?
Let him cook.
It doesn't take long for me to walk outside and meet a Nigerian. That's how many we have of them here. It doesn't take me that long.
Sorry, can I just make my point quickly to Lozy? I'm going to be here quickly. I'm Lozy. I got a question for you. Why, I've been looking into the issue of South Africa because, it's affecting my people as well. As you know, we're businessmen over there. We open businesses, corner shops, things like that, and then our people get killed. In 1 week, they killed over 5 Somali shopmen, businessmen. You get me? And so, why are South Africans targeting the little people when they should be targeting the white corporate businesses and corporate owners?
Can I respond to
these shopkeepers? Go on, continue.
Expansion. How many? I'm sure you have never met a South African in Somalia, but that's besides the point. Here's my point. When
I have family in South Africa that are Somalis. Yes, we have a lot. We have a big community over there. You sure that?
Okay, let me speak expansion. First of all, South Africans don't owe Somalians a space in their country, but that's besides the point. Here's my point. How I will tell you what is going on.
Wow. No,
Yes,
you can't say that. You can't say that when we give you
allow,
cheap, good products, and then you kill us
allow
for
me,
giving your people good, cheap products. Why can't you guys sell your products for cheap?
Expansion. Don't be emotional. Don't be entitled. Don't have entitlement.
No, because you're making a stupid point. You know what I mean?
Allow me to speak.
Okay, go on.
When Somalians were establishing themselves in South Africa, there's a history that happened. It still continues to happen. They were organized and they used to hire hitmen to kill South Africans who were running spaza shops. This has happened in many communities. However, people have accommodated many Somalians. Their businesses flourished here with our people. So we do have a problem with Somalians, but it's not our biggest problem. That is, it's a priority. So let me tell you this: don't fall for media and try to pitch your Somalians against us, because I can tell you.
I know a Somali guy. Yeah, he's probably his 40s. He had the shop in South Africa in '98. They threatened him.
Look. Who cares what's happening to the Somalis there? This is not about Somalia. This is Nigeria. You guys always seeking attention. Forget about. Don't talk about Somalia, guys. Ignore him. Do not change the topic. Ignore this guy.
Listen,
you're always seeking attention. No one cares. This is about Nigeria for once. Stay on topic. Just stop it, man. Just stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it. Talk about Nigeria, sir. Stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it.
The topic is about xenophobia. So I'm going to talk about xenophobia. You know what I mean? So if xenophobia is happening to my people, I'm going to ask questions. Is that not the topic of the question? Come on, man. Stop being emotional. You know what I mean?
Expansion. Allow me to speak. There's no South Africans who are trying to run spaza shops in Somalia. When you see your people running spaza shops in South Africa, they are at our mercy and we allow them to do that. You must stop with your entitlement instead of fighting us and thinking you are entitled to our country. I accept the fact that, be grateful for the fact that we have housed many of your people who even have got communities in our country, because there's no South African community in Somalia. Just be grateful for what we have done for our people here and stop nagging us and accusing us of xenophobic, because if we were xenophobic, many Africans wouldn't be in South Africa more than any country in Africa. We house the largest communities of all kinds of Africans in our country. Instead of you guys coming here and nagging and expecting all these things from us, why are your people running from your own countries and establishing yourselves in South Africa? We are not a problem. We are not a problem.
Loathing, but the fact and figures show that you have xenophobic record, especially against Nigeria.
Okay, then look, Nigerians, Nigerians have no room. They have no room to point fingers at South Africans. South Africans, in fact, if they were xenophobic, like he said, they have the most. They have the most foreigners in their country.
You're not experienced in this problem, Afrodamus. You live in America, please.
Oh, geez. Hold on. Can I speak now? Because I have the floor, right?
Yeah, but you don't. What is your experience with
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Let Afrodamus finish.
Okay. Here's the thing. I notice every single time, none of these people are coming up with, admitting that, this is happening. They're like, oh, it's just few numbers. Those Boko Haram is not the majority in Nigeria, but they've done enough damage for the world to know who they are, right? So you guys come on these panels, you're talking to South Africans as if they owe you. They do not owe you anything. If you don't like what's going on in their country, if they are so bad, pack your bags and go back to your country. It's that simple. They don't owe you a damn thing. I'm not, sir, please, can you please grow up and let me finish?
Are you done?
And you guys are coming on here, trying to gaslight, this conversation, pushing the goalpost, talking about, oh, the drugs, where is it coming from? Where it's not coming from? All we know is, even here. Oh, geez. Can you guys at least control yourself? Jesus. So just like here in the United States, they have plenty of millions of undocumented people, millions of them. They don't know what the number is, but you guys are going to sit here and try to tell us, though, only the number recorded in South Africa. Those are the ones there. They don't have a bunch of illegals in this country. You know, these countries that are complaining, they don't have South African communities in your countries. Why are you guys bothering these people? If you don't like it, you know, you don't like their laws, just leave.
Why attack the people that work in shops and do small businesses and not the big corporates that own these guys? Listen, the big corporates that own South Africa, that, you know, they should be going after, they keep quiet about them. But when they go after the people that come there, that do honest business, then it's wrong. That's what I'm condemning.
They should pack and go back to Somalia.
Hold on. The master is coming. Hold on, Ike is here.
No,
it's my turn. It's my turn to speak.
Wait 1 second, guys.
Allow me to speak, Kaizo. Can I just?
Okay. Yeah. 1 second. So just before you go, Lozi, let's let Ola Jide, then Ike, and then you. Since he hasn't spoken for a while, go ahead, Ola Jide.
Thank you very much. I think I've been here for almost 2 hours now, and I've not said a word. So, but at this point, I think we need to speak some truth to ourselves as Africans. Well, the South Africans they own their space. They have the right to do whatever they want to do in their space. They own their country. I am a Nigerian. They can decide to make the rules in their country. But however, I'm not going to contest that with you if that is what you're saying. But however, from listening to you for the past 2 hours, almost 2 hours now, I can conclude that it goes and it stems beyond the narrative you're trying to push. Because I feel you're trying to use that as just an alibi to really cover the problem. And the problem is you guys just hate Nigerians. And I say that because when you were asked the question the other time, you said it doesn't matter, you don't care. And you need to care. You need to care. See, Nigerians generally, everywhere Nigerians go, there are the bad eggs and there are the good eggs. You speak of drugs, even in Nigeria, I can tell you the percentage of people that take drugs in Nigeria might not even be up to 2% of the whole population. Okay? And Nigerians don't produce drugs. And drug business is an organized crime. It's an organized crime, meaning that South Africans are involved, your custom services are involved, your top officials are involved, your businessmen are involved. Yeah, the Nigerians might be the one hawking it on the street. Okay? From what you've just said, I'm trying to just premise on what you've said. But it's an organized crime, and you guys are also involved. So what I don't like is when we come to this space and we say all Nigerians are this. It's very bad. It's a very, very bad way of speaking of other people. You were talking about Somalians the other time. You said, who cares about Somalians? That is to tell you that what is driving you, the intention you have, is not the drug. The intention you have is just because you hate these people. And somebody pointed out to you, the bigger problem you have in your country is the white man that is killing you, taking everything that has been yours, and is dominating you every day and night. And instead of you going after these people, you rather want to go after Nigerians, Somalians, or people that have come there to just find a way to live. Fine, it's not your fault that they are there, yeah, and it's not compulsion that they must be there. But the truth of the matter is there are South Africans there in Nigeria too, and I want you to know, okay, on our news some days ago when they were looking into this oil bunkering and things like
just land your point because you want to respond as well. Kaizo, manage this, man.
Let me land my
Okay. Yeah, let
my
him land, and we'll go to Ike and then you, Lozi. Yeah, finish your point, Olajide.
I think he has dropped off.
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I think he's dropped off. Yeah.
No. Is it right for me to say, oh, Ghanaians are oil bunkers? No. You people just hate Nigerians, and that's just the bottom line. And what you're saying is just because you're speaking out of your hatred and not the main point. You're using that as an alibi, and it is clear and it's glaring to see. That's my point.
Okay, thank you very much for your point of view. Ike, go ahead. What's your point of view on this topic?
Hey. I'll be brief and then I'll leave. And by the way, if you're not speaking, go ahead and mute yourself. That way, people can have a better listening experience. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. Now, their hatred, let's say, is 100% their right. Okay? Just like they have the right to their own space and whatnot. Human beings are human beings everywhere, and human beings are full of hate, xenophobia, ethnocentricity, and all that kind of crap. You can't go pointing fingers at people and saying, hey, here's your real problem. Your real problem is the white man. Your real problem is this and that. They don't give a F. As a matter of fact, the more you keep telling them what the real problem is, the more they're going to feel justified in their hatred against you. Your reputation is your responsibility. It might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. It's not their responsibility to change their minds, okay? And the stats and all that, it's not going to change anything. They should not care. It's not your job to tell them what they should be caring about, okay? And they like their hate, as human beings tend to do. They feel comfortable in their hate, okay? And I'm not using this word hate as a derogative kind of thing. That's why I say all human beings, right? And so on and so forth. Because my main point here is no one owes you anything. They should not care about what you want them to care about. You have no right to be telling them, hey, you should focus on this, not focus on that. Why? It's not your freaking place. Get the hell out of there. If that's a red zone in your area where people are undesirable because of their quote unquote hatred or whatever, then you act accordingly. It's your responsibility to act accordingly. And generally speaking, everybody knows that the outsider is going to be judged more harshly than an insider. Okay? Your local criminal is your local criminal, just like your particular mess in your apartment is fine. But your roommate's mess is different, especially if it's some foreign roommate, right? Everybody understands this. All of a sudden, we're going to start acting like moralizing and pointing fingers and let me tell you what your real problem is and so on and so forth. Perception is reality in social space. That's what I'm here to say. Thank you very much. Peace. I'm out.
Okay, yeah, shout out to you. So Ilozi.
Okay, all right. So brother Ike did touch on what I was saying, and I like his spirit because he's not coming from a position of begging. What I'm hearing here, people trying to what is blackmail us and saying we are xenophobic, we are hateful. That's just an African talk begging. We should stop begging. If South Africans say they don't want you in their country, they don't want you. Stop begging them. They're not going to change their minds, as the brother said. And all these people coming here with high moral ground, they run into South Africa because South Africa is a better country than where they come from. Better freedom, better democracy, better economy. Let's not come here and act like South Africa is the worst place where the hate is. You are running away from tribal wars. Where in your country you elect leaders based on tribe. You've got even other tribes killing each other. You still see things on the news where a headsman is raising the cattle with AK-47, going through village and village butchering people. It doesn't happen in South Africa. You find cases where like more than 500 school girls have been raped over a week. It doesn't happen in South Africa. So let's not act like South Africans are these bad people.
Has someone
No, don't disturb me. I did not interrupt
anyone. Let him talk, Andre.
So when you guys come here with high moral ground, don't forget that you have got shitty things happening in your countries more than us. Hence, you are running to our country in more numbers, more than any country in Africa. These are facts. Let's not try to demoralize South Africans. If South Africans are tired, they fed up, they say, look, we're not responsible for the entire continent. The large numbers of people running here is because we have got something good going on. South Africans are just protecting their own interests. Who we choose to be in our country shouldn't bother you. We're not choosing whether Indians should stay in your country or Lebanese. We're not mingling in your affairs. We're not trying to establish South African communities in your countries. Why is it so hard for you people to allow South Africans to implement the rules they want in their country. And AfriDamas, please do a show on this, brother. I'll come in and just send me a link.
No one is saying no one is saying you cannot.
Yeah, wait, okay, shut up. Wait, guys. Yeah, just before we let AfriDamas respond, after 2 people, we've got 3 new panelists, Ola, and then Kenny and FM, and then AfriDamas. So go ahead, Ola. What's your thoughts? But keep it brief. We've got a full panel. Go ahead.
Okay. So one thing I just want to pass across is, Lozi, see, Nigerians and in Canada, they're in the US, everywhere they are. Every country must have their own laws, and they apply their laws accordingly. There's no problem there. If Nigerians go to South Africa, if they commit a crime, apply the law. Nobody is talking about that. But unleashing jungle justice on Nigeria, on Nigerians, is where the problem lies in. Just get that fact right. Nobody is saying Nigerians should come from nowhere and go and destroy your country. No. Now, the way you speak, as if you want to isolate yourself from other Africans. If you forgot the history, some people will never forget. We still know the roles that Nigeria played during the era of apartheid. Take that one for 1 point.
Thank you.
Now, no country in this world is an island. As we speak today, the fact that Nigerians, they are not violent towards another people from another countries does not mean there are there are thousands of South Africans in Nigeria. If you don't know today, get that fact right. And there are many South African companies in Nigeria that are doing far better than they are doing in South Africa because we have that economic edge. So don't let us see ourselves as, what I'm saying is this, don't let just see ourselves as unnecessary enemies or whichever way you can view that. You understand what I'm saying? So all this grandstanding of leave our country for us, we have the right. Nobody is saying you should not apply your law. We are saying don't apply jungle justice. There's a big difference. A criminal is a criminal. It doesn't matter the nationality. It can be white, it can be black, it can be anything. A criminal should be dealt with according to the law, not according to the jungle justice. What if you apply jungle justice on an innocent person? At the end of the day, you find out the person didn't commit a crime. That's the problem Nigerians are facing now. When they say Nigerians are destroying our countries, Nigerians are destroying your country? Like, seriously? Who are those Nigerians? That's where I have problem. Don't let us generalize. That's what I'm saying. People committing crime everywhere, you deal with them. Simple as ABC. Nigerians have companies and have businesses in South Africa. South Africa have businesses in Nigeria. If you are saying, okay, let us start say, okay, Nigerians leave our countries and Nigerians say, okay, South Africa leave our countries, then there will be no war for it. This war will be no good place for us to live. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay,
all right, is that my turn?
No, let's 1 second. AfriDamas, your turn is after the next guy,
okay.
Kenny, and then we'll let Lozi. And just before that, let me shout out to the sponsors again. Shout out to NigMeasy for 11 euros. Why are Nigerians the face of African criminality? And then Ike answers that with a $10 super chat. Says NigMeasy, Nigerians, especially southern ones like myself, are loud, uncouth, and irreverent, and we love breaking rules. It works to our benefit in some regards, but there are some drawbacks. So yeah, Kenny, go ahead, and then AfriDamas and Lozi, and then FM.
I don't do dry snitching on you. Come on.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't really have much to say, but I came in because of what I've been hearing, that what people are saying in regards to Nigeria. Like my brother said, there is criminal everywhere. But all of us, we need to remember, we need to go back on history. On memory lane about history. The other guy was talking about other country. What Nigeria has done for South Africa. No other African country has done it for South Africa. We did a lot for you people, but some of you guys sit down there and talking Nigeria. No, there's crime everywhere. South Africa, London here where I live, they're selling drugs. South African people, I know them. So we should stop. We should stop pointing finger at one person or at one country that Nigeria. No, there are some people, they will commit crime. They will say they're Nigeria, of which they're not Nigerians. And I'm saying that as a matter of fact, I live in London. I know some people, they will commit crime here. They will ask, where you come from? I'm from Nigeria. Okay, what's your name? They don't know what to say. So we should, we should appreciate and accommodate each other. We should stop all this hatred about Nigeria. The other guy was talking. That guy is a Nigerian hater. You should stop it. Okay, I don't know how do you. Maybe you don't know the history. You should go. You should go and read your history about what Nigeria did for you guys. When you guys are suffering from white people, we were there for you guys. So some of your leaders use Nigerian passports to go out of, to go out of South Africa. To come to abroad. So we should stop. Don't let us don't make us remember. All those things we've done for you guys. We should stop this. It's not nice. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, shout out. So yeah, go ahead, Afridamus, make your response. Then we'll let Lozi and FM, the other Nigerian in South Africa.
Yeah, here we go again. As usual, gaslighting. Lack of taking responsibility. They have to go around the circle talking about what they did for South Africa. You did not do anything for South Africa more than what they did for themselves. Can you please mute, sir?
You don't.
Can you mute? It's too much noise. Can you mute? So coming here talking about we did this and okay, if you did good for them to be independent, does that mean you're gonna come in and destroy their country? You cannot deceive. You cannot tell people how they should see you. They see you exactly as you are. So you have to take responsibility. You don't want to admit that you do have a criminal element amongst your population that go and distribute this criminality in other countries. So someone was saying, oh, only about 5% people use drugs in Nigeria. That's even worse. So you people don't use it in your country, but you go and distribute it in other people's country. That even makes it worse. You see, that even makes it worse. You are selling a product you're not using, highlighting that there is South African companies in Nigeria. Nobody is saying better and clean trade is not welcome. That's not what they are saying. They're just saying we do not want these elements in our country, and it's South African people's right. Don't come here gaslighting us, talking about, oh, you want to make yourself an island. They didn't say it about any other country. They didn't say we don't want to have anything to do with other African countries. They are there. They can see for themselves. They see who is doing what. You cannot keep pointing at the South African criminals. Those are South Africans. That's their country. They are doing it in their country. A stranger committing crimes in another country looks worse because you are not from there. You are not from there.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
No. Let
me finish.
Can I ask a question?
Let Afrodamus talk.
There's order here.
Yeah, let me finish. Let me finish. I did not, so coming around here, saying, oh, we helped them. Sure, great. You supported their independence. So now you want to come and set it on fire, delinquenting their children, putting drugs on their streets. I didn't hear one single responsibility here. Dancing all over. Oh, we have Nigerian space scientists. Sure. Those people. Can I finish? We have South African company in Nigeria. So what? They are not selling you drugs. They are bringing you good service. I'm sure if the good Nigerians there, they have no issues with them. But take responsibility for your criminals. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Okay, thank you, No, I need to know. It's my 1 minute. It's my turn, man. But it's my turn.
Wait.
What is going on now?
Sorry.
Wait 1 second.
Hold on. Did you say Lizo should come in? I'm keen for Emeka.
Yeah, let Lozi. Yeah. Okay, so let since Lozi will cry, let's let him first and Emeka. Go ahead, Lozi.
Can I say one thing? I haven't.
No.
Wait, 1 second.
Now, come on. Now,
1 second.
What's going on?
Wait, 1 second. Let Lozi go ahead first.
Lozi.
Yeah, go ahead, Lozi. Okay. And then Emeka, you can go next.
First of all, we have allowed Nigerians to run for the longest time with this nonsense that they helped us. They didn't do jack shit for us. The only thing they did, just like many other African countries, is to speak on UN, United Nations, about what was going on in South Africa. Because the Burkis, the Afrikaners, shut down the media. No news was traveling outside South Africa. But we had our own comrades, like the late that guy who won. I'm forgetting his name. He was all over the globe, spreading the news. I'll remember Desmond Tutu. He won a Nobel Peace Prize with Mandela. These South Africans were doing the job most of the time for themselves in a continent full of more than 50 countries. Non-military was sent to rescue our people. It took students to fight the military with stones, and we lost lives as Black South Africans to free our country, to liberate ourselves. No country in Africa hosted more than 10K South Africans. None. And those few countries that hosted our people in large numbers, close to in few thousands, it was Tanzania, Zambia, Angola, Mozambique, a bit of Ethiopia as well. None of my people went to Nigeria in more than 100. It was only 23 students. This is documented in museum in Soweto. It was 23 students who were given passport to go study in Nigeria, which 3 of them couldn't come back home. They suspect that one of them died in Nigeria. He was banned there. Let's not come up here and claim things. Most Nigerians claim to have helped South Africa with some kind of like weird 61 billion US. There's no country in history that has actually ever done such transaction other than the current war between Ukraine and Russia, where American government is pumping billions to the government of Ukraine. Nigeria itself, back in the days before 1994, it had only an economy of 54 billion US in GDP. Where will they get this? So we cannot keep on going with the scamming culture of lying. Yes, Nigeria did play a role by speaking in the UN and making sure that they make the world see that what is going on. Just like Cyril Ramaphosa today was speaking in the UN saying they must lift the sanctions in Zimbabwe and Cuba. Nigeria has done that. They have held debates where they were spreading awareness. We are grateful for that. But we have done more for Nigeria in return, more than what they have done for us. Case in point is many students from Nigeria were sent to study in South Africa when they came to South Africa, either under asylum seeker or as a migrant, who were sent by our government through our programs, and it was the South African taxpayers who paid for that. There's a guy who's been interviewed by Tayo, the Nigerian YouTuber, who's successful today running his business. He was sent to university by the taxpayers of South Africa. There's many of those examples. We don't come here and tell you guys because we are not on a begging bowl. We're not trying to squeeze ourselves to Nigeria. Our many companies there in Nigeria, it's more than 120 of them. They are creating employment. And we didn't need to send the entire community of South Africans for those companies to succeed there. They actually are managed and run by many Nigerians, creating employment. We have got more than 500 companies from America here in South Africa. You don't see any community of South Africans in USA. You don't see us going to USA feeling some kind of entitlement, creating being criminals there. We don't do that. We have got more than 500 of American companies here in our country. Let's be honest. South Africans, as I say again, we don't need this kumbaya to come here and be saying all these hula balas. South Africans will make rules in their countries. How you take it, how you feel about it, it's up to you. We don't care. You won't be able to stop us. You don't even have access to do so. I lay my case.
Lozi, just before you, we open up after Emeka. But yeah, Lozi, just before you go, one quick statement. Do you agree with the vigilante attacks on Nigerians who sell drugs in South Africa? Or do you agree with the brother that it only should be the law? Yeah.
First of all, Kaizo, many Nigerians are killed by Boko Haram and Fulani headsmen in Nigeria. I don't know why this doesn't make news. You must make a life for that and discuss that. If they really care about the life of Nigerians, Snake Man, don't disturb me. If they really care about the lives of Nigerians, we see horrible videos where they butcher people with machetes. Now, in South Africa, I don't know anything. I haven't seen anything where Nigerians are attacked by vigilante. If anyone has got a proof of that, I'm happy to see it.
Okay, shout out. So yeah, Emeka, go ahead. What's your response? And then we'll move around the panel.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Greetings and blessings. I've listened attentively, and this is an emotionally fueled conversation. I will try to choose my words very carefully. First and foremost, before I begin to speak, I would like to address each and every one of us as brothers and sisters, right? And while we are emotionally charged, we must also recognize that we're still brothers and sisters. Let me proceed. Now, I don't know if all of us were very familiar with the UN, United Nations Charter for Human Rights. Article 13 says everyone has the right of freedom of movement and residence within the border of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Article 14 says everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in other countries asylum from persecution. Likewise, in the same Article 14, it says the right may not be invoked in the case of prosecution generally arising from non-political crimes or acts contrary to the purpose and principles of the United Nations. Article 15 also says everyone has the right to a nationality. And the same Article 15 says no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality or denied the right to change his nationality. Why do I say this? Is I think in Africa we are quick to hate each other, regardless of our shortcomings. I think we're quick to be angry with each other. I'm not in any way trying to excuse anybody. I know in the 70s or 60s or 70s or in the 80s, thereabout, we told our Ghanaian brothers to leave our country, right? When there was some economic recession. And we looked at them and said, they were stealing our jobs. And that was where the popular word, Ghana must go, came about, that they must leave our country. Okay? And the Ghanaians, many of them who were not strong enough decided to leave the country and return back home. We are replicating the same thing in South Africa too, and likewise in some other African country. I listened to one of the brothers on the show who spoke, Nigeria spoke very nicely about us in the AU. And I think yesterday, the president of Nigeria also spoke eloquently about the ills and the shortcomings of Africa and letting the world know Africans should not be in a pitiable state. We have one common enemy in Africa, and that's poverty. Everywhere across the 56 nations of Africa, poverty is ravishing each and every country, right? We also have another problem in Africa, poor leadership. I won't say bad leadership, I will say poor leadership. Everywhere within the 56 nation states in Africa, we have poor leadership. So in this light, we all have similar problems. Now, I just gave an example of what happened in the 70s when we told the Ghanaians to leave. Same thing happening in South Africa now. Now, we also need to be very careful with the kind of words and language we use. I know there are some decent Nigerians in South Africa contributing to the economy of South Africa positively. There are some Nigerian expatriates in South Africa working in various corporations or in corporate South Africa, and they are contributing their quota to ensure that the economy of South Africa is good. Likewise, there are criminal elements in South Africa from Nigerian descent that are also perpetrating crimes in South Africa. The problem here is the quickness or the rapid move to label these criminals in their nationality and to say, oh, you guys are coming into our country to perpetrate crimes and to destroy our country. These are criminal elements. They do not represent the Nigerian mindset. They do not represent the Nigerian positivity and the Nigerian movement of moving from one country to another country to plug in and become useful citizens or useful nationals or useful residents that would help that country grow. So what I would want to say is these criminal elements that are going around and destroying South African communities should be properly identified, incarcerated, and deported back to Nigeria once they are found. In this respect, because what we are trying to do now, if we label this as a Nigerian problem in South Africa, those Nigerians that are doing great jobs, fantastic jobs, contributing to the economy of South Africa, once you get to label this wrongly. You categorize everyone in a bracket, and then you are now weeding out everybody out of your country. My brothers, I'll be very honest with you, and my sisters, if we do have any female on the panel or those who might be listening. South Africa has a poverty problem. South Africa has an unemployment problem. It is not strange to other countries in Africa. If you chase away those who are you label as those who are taking up your job, it does not solve the problem. How do you solve this problem is identify the criminal elements, the criminal Nigerians who do not represent Nigerian as a country. These are criminal elements. We also have criminal elements in Nigeria, and we also have criminal elements everywhere in the world perpetrating crime. Some people just love to perpetrate crime. Identify them, incarcerate them, or whatever punishment you want to melt on them, which is according to the law. And once they are done serving their term, send them back where they are supposed to be. Send them back to Nigeria, right? But again, do not deny those who contribute positively to your own country. That was why I went straight to the United Nations Charter for Human Rights, right? So in this respect, we need to be careful, because once this mindset is being perpetuated and every other 56 nation country begin to retaliate, we may not have an African continent to call home anymore. We should not push an agenda or allow people who are pushing an agenda to push that agenda successfully and then change our mindset towards our own brothers. Let's call a spade a spade. Many Nigerian nationals have married South African nationals and they've raised children. They've also, some of them, many of them are law abiding. They've keyed into the South African way of life, and some are more South African than Nigerians. So we need to also be careful in that light and be able to identify those who are perpetrating this crime. If you have useful information, provide them to law enforcement. Let them face the wrath of the law. It is not a Nigerian problem. It is a criminal problem. So let's be able to distinguish this carefully and act according to the law.
No, that makes sense. Lozi, wait, hang on, Lozi. Just before you go, let's let Snake Man go first, then you can respond. Snake Man.
Lozi, you know me. I'm not an enemy of South Africa. Like I have no. That is not. I'm a Nigerian and I have no fight because I truly do not care. What I'm more interested in, and that's why what I wanted to be part of the topic is, okay, we have a problem. That is my German mind not talking. Let's identify that problem. Let's search for how can we solve that problem. How do you solve that problem? You must find out where it is, what it is, and how it functions. The problem I have in this entire discussion, that's why I say I have nothing against xenophobia. I have nothing against stupidity. And I know I have something against stupidity. I have nothing against racism or something. But when I say, hey, if you do it, if the South African do it, at least be productive with it. At least be pragmatic with it. Because what I see very often is that something is started in Africa and it's never finished. The problem is actually never solved. What I'm saying, that is my entire thing. What I'm hearing is, and every time I ask for stats, especially from the South African, I only hear feelings. And that's why I say, hey, if you want a low IQ movement, when it ends in low IQness, do it, brother. It's your country, nothing against it, but then not come and try to tell us, hey, don't call it xenophobia, don't call it low IQ, because you must show us that you can do the movement. No problem. It's your country, brother. But show us that it's not born out of feelings and stupidity. Until now, no South African ever showed me anything. I mean, the Nigerian president talked about that your state has stats. That the Nigerian ambassador looked at stats. Where are those stats? Why does Nigerian ambassador know more about your countries than you?
Can I respond now? Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is the begging talking points are always here, and I think African men, you need to start respecting yourselves. this whole talk of saying a lot about South Africans, it just sounds like you guys are begging. Look, the fact that South Africans are not crime xenophobic in any country, we cannot be victims. We hold the cards. You guys, as I said earlier on, you can use any word you want to define us, but we're the ones who are holding the cards here, and we must be clear about that. We're not trying to stay in anyone's country, and we can say a lot of things. We can say any lot of assumptions about South Africans. I even heard the brother saying South Africa's got a problem of poverty. Ain't that even a joke coming from a Nigerian? No African can actually say South Africa's got a problem of poverty. There is no black group on this continent that has got the highest standards of living more than us. There is no black group in Africa that lives better than us. Hence, people always vote with their feet. The road is marching towards South, my country, because you guys are many of your people are trying to access what we already have, which is normal for us. What we are saying is that South Africa has got migration issue. Stop preaching Pan-African to us. Stop telling us any of that. The topic today is around why Nigerians have got this, what is the word? They've got this title.
Okay, my brother, according to the World Bank, right? According to the World Bank, I like to deal with facts. According to the World Bank, 13.8 million people are experiencing food poverty in South Africa. Hold on, brother, please. I did not interrupt. Hold on, I'll let you speak. Just give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Brother, 30 seconds. Brother, 30 seconds. Brother, 30 seconds.
No, I allowed you to speak.
Brother, 30 seconds.
We know that Losi doesn't use stats. He was even wrong about apartheid. It was 300 students.
Brother, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
When I'm
brother,
speaking,
you will speak.
You will speak. Any of these fuckers when they were speaking, guys. Can I be allowed to speak? No, don't tell me I will speak because I allowed you to speak. No, you will speak after me.
Dr. K, are you there?
Oh, okay, hang on. Okay, so Lozi, finish your point, then Emeka can respond with these facts.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This fucker shouldn't allow me to interrupt me because I did not interrupt you. Now allow me to speak.
Continue. Don't lower yourself.
South Africa has got one of the lowest poverty rate in African standards if we compare with your countries. South Africa's poverty rate is 16% when we are using the World Bank in terms of using the same standards where a person lives below $1.8 a day. Can I speak? Because you speak about numbers and I give numbers more than any of you on this panel for most.
But your numbers were always wrong.
Can I speak? Because I'm giving. Why are you interrupting me? Because I'm even giving numbers now. When a person is the standards are $1.8 a day. South Africa has got. We all use that standard. South Africa has got one of the lowest poverty ranking, and South Africa it's second to Morocco in Africa in terms of a country that is food secure.
Can you continue your discussion? We have read that one. Continue what you want to say.
Stop with glazing. Continue with the argument.
South Africa is an upper middle income country, one of the only four in Africa, upper middle income country. You cannot be an upper middle income country with higher poverty rates. It doesn't make sense.
So make your point. Make your point. We have read that one. Make your point.
Stop crying.
Can you fuck off? Because I'm still speaking. Here's the thing: if South Africa had higher poverty, bunch of you wouldn't be trying to rush and cry xenophobic.
No one said that the highest poverty.
Snake, can you shut the fuck up, man? Snake, can you keep quiet? People with better countries are not crying xenophobic in other countries. You will go home when you're not wanted.
Stop crying about xenophobia. Just accept it.
Kaizo, what's going on, man? Can't you mute this there? Because I'm muted if I'm interrupting.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Lozi. Go ahead.
Yes. So if South Africa had a high poverty rate, people will be voting with their feet to marching towards South African crime xenophobic. People will take their shit and go home. People with better countries with low poverty rates don't cry to stay in other people's countries. I lay my case.
You're still crying. Okay, are you done?
Okay. Okay, shut out. So approximately 55% of the population is living at poverty, the national upper poverty line. Okay, so
in South Africa.
Do you know what is national upper poverty line, Kaizo? Can we because no other countries measures poverty like that. It's called national upper poverty line. Do many of you know what is that? That they don't know because they come from third world where it's not even the standards are not even like that, right?
Okay.
So you
Kaiser, does it sound like a Pan-African and a pride? It sounds like a Pan-African when you're certain states.
We can't compare South Africa with these dusty countries. We all know that.
So the stats are not lying. So the stats are wrong. So that does not sound like Hoteps.
Did you not hear what I was saying?
That doesn't sound like Hoteps when we talk about stats. That the stats are wrong.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Simba. What's your thought from what Lozi said?
To me, Lozi is just sounding like a sadist, and I don't expect such a foolish talk from a fellow African man. We all agree that we have problems generally in Africa, and somebody is there thinking that he doesn't need other Africans to survive, thinking that South Africa alone can survive in Africa. I think he's just living in delusion. And you can notice that when we have our head of state, our leaders in Africa converging, talking about Pan-Africa, and we have people like Lozi there spilling rubbish and thinking that South Africa and you can see, even if you look at the economy of South Africa don't trade with other African countries. They trade with Saudi Arabia and some other foreign country. So, and if you have a population filled with people like Lozi, that is what you get. So, to me, I think Africans, we still have a long way to go. You cannot tell me that South Africans don't live in other country. So how can you be talking as if you can only survive in your own country? You don't need other country to survive. Do you know the number of your population that are living in other country? If they are doing the same thing to you, how will you feel? So it's total rubbish that Lozi is filling up there.
Once again, he doesn't talk about facts. He talks about feelings. We established that. Like I don't know why you try to convince someone who does not care about facts. It's absolute retarded.
Okay, so let me.
Can I say something before you comment?
Go ahead.
See, in everything that I'm saying now, I'm saying you don't have any right. You don't have your right to feel the way you want to feel about foreigners in your countries. For me, I'm only staying by the law. If you have your law of that country, apply it. That's the problem. If you start applying jungle justice, that is where the hatred starts. Why will you neglect your law and say, oh, I can do this better by applying jungle justice? That's where the problem is. If you can bypass your law, if you cannot ask your law enforcement agents to do the right thing, and you citizens say we want to do it ourselves, then that is hatred. That is what we are addressing. I just want you to get me right. So you can feel whatever the way you want to feel, but make sure that you follow justice. Apply the law. Let justice seem to be done, rather than say, oh, I want to behave like the lion in the jungle, that all animals, as far as I'm concerned, they should be my meal. Don't behave that way. Because I'm talking that I'm talking of the threat to human civilization.
Can I go after him?
It's when everything you want to apply is jungle justice. Thank you.
But you can't blame them. Blame Nigerian politicians.
Okay, Kaizo.
It's not about blaming anyone. Just use law. Simple. That's what I'm after.
Kaizo.
Go ahead, Lozi. Then we'll let Al go.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You see, the funny part is these are people who probably cannot resolve the issues in their country, hold their leaders accountable, and they opt to flee and run away to other countries. But it's the nerve and the irony of telling South Africans how they must do things and tell their government what to do, while back at home they fail to let their government do anything for them, and they flee. But anyway, let's handle this. Simba there just comes and waffle and say,
Lozi,
can I just interrupt anyone?
Lozi, sorry. Please, 1 minute, please.
No, guys, allow me to speak. You'll speak after me. I don't interrupt anyone when I speak, when they speak. So Simba here just comes and waffle like a crocodile with nothing evidence. South Africa is the biggest country that trade with other African countries more than any other African country. If you come to SADC, like there's 5 regions in Africa. If you come to Southern region, which is called SADC, South Africa export more and import more to other African countries. It's basically the economy of the Southern. In other regions, if you go to West Africa, China is the biggest export and trade in West Africa. East Africa is the same. North Africa is the same China. Central is the same China. Only in Southern Africa, South Africa is the biggest export ahead of China. South Africa, in West Africa, if you go to countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast, Senegal, one of their biggest trader after Western countries and China, it's South Africa. Same if you go to East Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, you find Standard Bank there, you find MTN networks, you find many stores from South Africa. Same if you go to Central Africa. So don't just come here and waffle things from your behind and think you are making sense. Because I know what I'm talking about. And second, when you
Loathing, can I talk now?
Allow me to
then show us that.
Challenge me on any states that you
No.
Hang
on, Lozi. Wait, one second, guys. We have to move to the next speaker, Olajide. But no, Lozi is correct on that point. But yeah, go ahead, Olajide.
Okay, Lozi, see, whatever we are saying here, we are not saying South Africans don't have the right. They have the right to their law. They have the right to say this the way they want to govern their country, and that's what I'm trying to say the other time. But what I'm seeing from what you're saying now is like you guys feel in your responsibility, or your government failed in their responsibility, and you're now trying to look for who to put the problem on or take justice into your hands. See, let me tell you something. It won't change anything tomorrow if your government says all Nigerians should leave South Africa. They would leave. It's not the end of the world, okay? If your government says they should leave, they would leave. You have laws against crime in that country. You should enforce your laws. The same thing happened in Nigeria when some people were pushing the narrative of herdsmen from Niger coming to cause problem in the country. It's not the problem of the herdsmen, it's the problem of the government that could not secure its country. Okay? So now you guys could not push your government to say, okay, Nigeria should go. You could not push your government to say everybody that is a Nigerian that carries the green passport should evacuate your country. So you now took it upon yourself to start killing Nigerians. And the hypocrisy in that is you come here to say you're very civilized, you're the best race in the black race, and you are the one doing the most barbaric thing by killing innocent people. So please, can you just stop this narrative? For me, I see it like you're coming from the space of emotion and anger. Just go to your country. You have move laws to evacuate all Nigerians and expel them from your country. It's that simple.
Okay. Why should they have to expel Nigerians? Why don't they just go home from their own volition?
No, that's not the right way to do things, right? I think we've spoken. Everybody according to the United Nations Charter Rights of Human Rights, everybody is allowed to move. There's freedom of movement. There's freedom to move from one country to another country. There's freedom to reside where you want to reside. What we're saying is, I know Lozi is really upset. I understand his emotional standpoint. It's painful when you have criminal elements perpetrating crime in your country and trying to bring your country down. Nobody's going to take it away from South Africa. South Africa is a rich country, despite the fact there's still high levels of poverty. It's a rich country. It has a very strong GDP compared to other countries in Africa. Nobody's taking that away. Lozi, fantastic point. We get you. But what we're also saying here is that if you want to act, you have to act right. Don't act like savages, right? Act like decent people who have laws in your country and abide to those laws. Like what I think it's Ola. If you do not want a specific set of people in your country, why don't you go to your lawmakers and demonstrate legally about it? Why do you go about carrying out jungle justice? That is what savages do, right? That's what savages do. Civilized, hold on, sir, please. Civilized people would conduct. Civilized people would obey their laws and do things the proper way, but savages will go about doing things in an abnormal way. Now, I would expect South African residents and citizens to look at the ills in their community and say, let's handle this in a proper manner. I am not disputing the fact that there are criminal elements in your communities of Nigeria descent that are perpetrating crimes in your communities. But again, those people need to be identified. You do not throw a blanket and capture those who are living productively and who are not criminals. When you do that, it is wrong. When you do that, you are not right. When you do that, you are not also human. When you do that, you are a savage. So you must act decently and apply the law appropriately and do things the way civilized people behave.
So I agree. I agree. And just before you go, Lozi, let's Magnesi wanted to make a point. Then you can go afterwards.
All right. So to the point, look, this is right here on the screen. Why Nigerians are leaving, because the country is not as profitable as South Africa. But what responsibility does the Nigerian immigrant have to be a responsible immigrant and resident? If they're not being responsible, the South African people have every right to say, we don't want you here. And jungle justice is frowned upon by probably everyone on this panel. I don't condone it, right?
Not me.
Oh, you don't? Okay, cool. I think that we all respect the humanity of Nigerians. We don't want that to happen. But at the same time, those who are making a bad name for Nigerians need to be held accountable, and need to be held accountable by Nigerians themselves. Y'all talking about the government, but speak about why, you know, the situation is created by a Nigerian government that causes your people to leave and flee towards the whole world. Y'all got to fix that.
You see, can I say something? The reason why most
no,
Africans...
no. I'm responding.
No, let Lozi speak. Come on, let Lozi speak.
Yes, thanks, Snake Man. Look, we back to the begging bowl. I'm not saying South Africans should take the jungle justice. No, that's not how it works. South Africa is a highly civilized country in Africa. Hence, it's attracting all kinds of Africans are running South Africa. Don't come here and try to act as if South Africans are savages. When you come from a country where the terrorists are running around, you've got Fulani headsmen butchering people. You've got these rebels occasionally coming in and out doing as they please. South Africa is not like that. We are a highly democratic nation where you've got a freedom of speech to express yourself however you want. Yes, we do have a group of vigilantes who are sick and tired of the government that is not doing anything and willing to take the law in their own hands. The fact that you cannot show me any Nigerian being killed by the mob or killed by people who are xenophobic attacks, it's weird what you're trying to push. While it doesn't take me long to find a video of Snake Man, don't interrupt me. It doesn't take me long to find a video of Boko Haram or Fulani headsmen butchering people in the villages in your country where the true
this is not a comparison. This is not a crime comparison discussion, okay? Get the point. Get the point. It's not a crime comparison discussion. This is a discussion on what is going on in South Africa. We are not comparing crimes here. I think you're getting things wrong. I believe you're really getting things wrong here. We are not comparing crimes. See, nobody is disputing the criminality going on in the respective countries. We are, please get the point. Stay within context of the discussion, right? What you are doing, you are doing a country by country comparison. No. Get your facts right. Please get your facts right and stay in the context of the discussion and conversation. Okay? When we want to discuss Nigeria, and largely we will talk about the ills and the problems in Nigeria. Right now, we are discussing about the ills and the problem in South Africa. This is not where we are comparing Ethiopia with Nigeria or Ethiopia with South Africa or Ethiopia with Gambia. We are talking about what is happening in South Africa. So speak to the context of the conversation and stop pivoting to other things.
Can you show us the article I posted into Kaizo?
Can I speak without these people interrupting me? Because when they speak, I don't interrupt them. But you don't do anything.
It's not about speak, but we want you to be in the context of the conversation. You go about insulting people in the panelists. You don't know this individual. You don't know their economic standpoint. You don't know their standard of living. You don't even know if they're even better than you in your course of life. But you go about insulting people, and nobody here has told you to fuck off. You keep calling people fuckers. You keep calling people idiots. Is that how you behave in your country? Is that how you behave in life? What the fuck are you?
Okay, Lozi, what is this article?
Yeah, that article says South Africans apologize to Nigeria over xenophobic attacks. So who's been attacked? Show me a Nigerian that has been killed by South Africans called xenophobic attacks.
Oh, now you want a video before you said there was nothing.
I'm saying no. Show me who
Okay,
they are and Nigerians that have been killed.
a video. Okay, you want a video. Okay, so I'll show you the video.
Yeah, show me when Nigerians are killed in so-called xenophobic attack in South Africa.
You see,
so guys, in the meantime, let me speak from that waffle that was happening. People come here, say whatever they want about our country, and many of their people are fleeing their country to South Africa anyway. But we're not fleeing to their country. Here's the thing: they are so quick to tell us that you South Africa, you must do this and this with your government. But dude, you flee away from your government that you couldn't tell them anything to do. They don't treat you well. They don't give you the basic stuff. You flee all the way far away, jump in many countries to be in South Africa in large numbers to a point where we've got your communities here. And you've got the nerve to tell us what to tell our government. Dude, we are fine with our government. Don't tell us what to do with our government. South Africans will do what they have to do for their country, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's just about it. There's nothing you can do. You can come here, waffle, and cry all day long. There's nothing you can do about what.
We are not trying. We're just pointing out that you're emotional and don't use logic. That is all.
Yeah, you
can. Now you didn't disprove it. I mean, there's nothing against it.
Snake man, you keep running with that same emotional narrative, bro. Stop trying to gaslight.
Yeah. No, Magnesi, show me a step.
Wait, what?
About the discussion.
I'll show a stat, and this is going to be anti-South African real quick. Not that I mean it to be, but I really want the numbers to lead us to where we need to go. Right?
Thank you. That's why I want
so this is from the website Statista, right? Because we were talking about crime. Cities with highest crime index in Africa in 2023: Pretoria, Durban, Johannesburg, Port Elizabeth, Cape Town. So it's the top 5 are in South Africa. Then it's Windhoek, Namibia, and then Lagos, Nigeria. So the top 5 are in South Africa.
You see, you can understand it. The reason why other Africans hate Nigeria, the reason why so many foreign people don't go to Nigeria to go to East Africa. The reason why, because Nigeria is unstable. We're saying the truth. Nigeria, our politicians. The reason why we hate it among our politicians. We're not united in Nigeria. It's a fact. No, we can't be lying.
Nagmizi, can I ask you something, Nagmizi?
Yes,
brother.
Yes, sir.
Do you think the state of California produces better data than the state of Lagos, Nigeria? If you look at the budget of those countries and how much the resources they have, will you say one produces better legit stats?
Lazo, you have 59 million. You have 59 million. You have a population of 59 million people, right? And then 5 cities are perpetrating the most crime in Africa. That's the problem in South Africa that you guys need to deal with. A country with a small population of people but perpetrating a huge crime in Africa is something you guys need to deal with. And what is the main driver of crime in a particular location? Poverty. That's the main driver. Then the secondary driver is a lack of consequences to curb the crimes. So, Liza, nobody is taking away your beautiful country. Your country is really beautiful. Your country is really doing well. I think is the best country in Africa in terms of income per GDP is doing great. That is why you have an influx of people coming into that country to better their life. But what we're saying is, don't act like savages. Be responsible citizens and don't take laws into your hands. And stop abusing people on this panel, my friend. Stop doing that. Be a responsible man. And if you don't have home training, please go get one for yourself, okay?
No,
that was uncalled for,
your
brother.
Own leaders because they don't look after you.
You see, one team can take away.
Nagmizi, did I make sense in what I was asking you?
I was trying to hear you, but the brother cut you off and started talking about home training.
Okay, go ahead. Ask Nagmizi your question.
Okay, Nagmizi, I'm saying if we look at the state of California, for example, the amount of resources that are there, the level of development, the level of scrutiny data, the whole system that is running there can produce better legit results in terms of a program that can produce data and also transparency of the government as compared to state of Lagos of Nigeria, which hardly knows how many people are living there in terms of numbers.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
So what exactly was this entire
I'm
saying?
basically saying
that you can't trust Nigerian data compared to
when they say South African, when they say South
What's that
African,
Nigerian? Hold on. Magnesi, what's that Nigerian data you used?
It was actually an American website, or actually a Western website. I don't know if it's American. It's called Statista. I use this a lot, actually. This is about crime and law
And
enforcement.
why is Losi talking about Nigerian stats?
Don't believe Lozi. He's just obsessed about Nigeria. Lozi is just obsessed about Nigeria.
Yeah, I think a Nigerian man took his girlfriend. That's why he's upset.
Lozi, are you telling me now that those states in those cities in South Africa are ranked top in Africa because of the
Lozi, who
Nigerians?
took your girlfriend? Who took your wife?
Are you what you're saying? That is the Nigerians?
Lozi, did a Nigerian man take your girlfriend?
If you ask me a question, am I allowed to respond now? Because if you ask me a question, I will.
Okay, Amati, let me ask you one. Okay. Did the Nigerian man take your girlfriend?
I don't date women who date Nigerians.
Ah, I see. That's a strong one, brother. That's a really strong one.
All right. So can I respond? Can I tell you this? A country that has got terrorism, rebels, and is failing, and its people are running away, I wouldn't trust any stats that comes from such failed.
But it's not our stats.
What?
It's not our stats, Losi.
No. So the American state that you see, it collects from national states. So what it does, it goes to countries and collect their national data coming from your own government.
But you see the issue, why are Nigerians living in Nigeria? There's a reason why they live in Nigeria. We actually said the truth here. The reason they live in Nigeria, our politics in Nigeria are so bad.
Okay.
Until we step
Right,
up as
everybody.
Nigerians and say
Good
enough to our
afternoon,
politicians,
everybody.
we
My
will
name is
treat bad
Umbalo
around the West.
Sotolo Omolono. I'm from South Africa. I will have to tell you the reason why
that
our South
accent is
African
not
men
even
are
South
killing the
African, to be
Nigerian
honest.
men. This is because
That
the
accent
Nigerian
is
men
not
are
ours.
very good. They are gooder than the South African.
Yeah, if
Yo,
you know South
let her
Africans,
play out. I want to hear what
that
she said.
accent
Good
is
about what?
Okay. Right, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Umbalo Suntolo Omolono.
What do you
I'm
mean?
from South Africa. I will have to tell you the reason why our South African men are killing the Nigerian men. This is because the Nigerian men are very good. They are gooder than the South African men. Our South African men, they don't take care of us more than the way the Nigerian men do. The Nigerian men give us money for air, for food, for clothes. So, but the South African men are selfish. Nigerian men, they are not selfish. They take care of us very well.
Man,
So
Kaiser,
that
why
is
must you
why
always
the
put
South
dust?
African men are angry, because all the beautiful ladies are now going after the Nigerian men. When you chase and date a Nigerian man, you enjoy your life. But we date the South African men and we are suffering. Nigerian men are taking good care of us and they have money. And we lot of South African women are living
we
in
don't
West
speak
Indies
like this,
because of
guys.
Nigerian
She's
men.
not South
That is
African.
why
That
they are
accent is,
killing
we
the
don't
Nigerian
blame
men,
her.
because our men are jealous and they are
So,
scared.
but one thing,
Nigerian men
one
have
thing, Losi,
taken all
you
their
forget,
women from
Nigeria
them.
owns the music
So
industry
nobody
in Africa
wants
and the movie
to
industry
lose
in
his
Africa.
girl to a Nigerian man. We are scared because
Lozi,
Nigerian
now
guys
I
are
see why
ballers.
Lozi is angry. I
Nigerian
see why
guys are
Lozi
your
is
ballers. They
angry.
have money. They spend money on
But what
women.
does
They
Hold
Nigerian
on,
buy
guys.
clothes, jewelries, they do things, they
Kaizo,
buy car, they put Uber for us.
MV4
So
is in the
now
chat. I
we
need him out
have
of
to
here.
tell you South African men, leave Nigerian men alone for us. They are making us happy. They are making us happy. Stop killing them. We don't want to be
Yes,
alone. We
sister.
don't want you. On behalf of all
What
the
is
South
this?
African women, we reject all the South African men. We want Nigerian men in our life.
Man,
Nigerian men are too sweet to get over.
are we done with
This is not
Yo,
Kaiser, what
pick
the?
up. Kaizo.
Kaiser, run away. Kaiser used to chance to run away.
Ah,
No, man,
okay.
African